either. Just bowled the one over in that match against Scotland. And of late, when he didn't bat in the warm-up game against West Indies, he made 16 against South Africa. Rauf bowls, defended by Janat into the offside. And there is no run. Moving to the end of the fifth over, 33 for 3 is the Afghanistan score after winning the toss and deciding to bat first against Pakistan. We know the way the tournament's gone so far, with the heavy dominance in terms of chasing and being successful. Afghanistan looking to, well, buck that trend. They feel that's the best way, and sometimes it can be if you're an underdog. You get runs on the board, so if you have to chase a big score, pressure perhaps builds too much on you. Get something in the bank and put the pressure on the opposition. Rauf goes in, ball short outside the off stump, uppercut from Janat, out towards the deep third boundary and over it, well over it, into the spectators in the lower tier there, waving their flags. It's the third six of the innings. We've had 5 overs, 3 wickets and 3 sixes. It's 39 for 3.
That's an awesome shot there, just back of a length, fast, and gets under it. Janat gets under it with a nice uppercut and puts it out into the crowd. That's what you call using the pace. Plenty to work with too from Rauf. The first ball to Janat was 95 mile an hour. Yorker, that one's about 91, so he's eased off a bit there and disappeared 10 rows back.
Well, we've had some tepid cricket at times in this tournament, but we haven't had that in the first 5 overs of this match, I can tell you. 39 for 3 after 5 overs. Here's Henry Moran.
Feels like this game's been played in fast forward. It's been complete carnage and an awful lot of fun. And what we've seen so far, Afghanistan, though they've lost wickets, they've been going at some rate. We're getting pictures on our screens of big crowds trying to get into the ground. It's some atmosphere in Dubai. There's a big expat community of Pakistan supporters in the UAE. And as we saw the India-Pakistan game, there can be some atmosphere. In comes Hasan Ali. This is hit in the air. How far has it gone? He's got underneath it. I'm not sure it's got the distance. Fielder running round takes the catch. Rahmanullah goes. It's another wicket. Afghanistan 39 for 4. And they're not holding back. Everything must go. It went high, but it did not go far enough.
Well, this has got... you said before, this is high octane. This is. They need just a calm head out there. Rahmanullah finding some leg. Hasan Ali comes into the attack. First ball, probably a little short, back of a length. Goes for the pull shot. Not quite short enough, or didn't quite get onto the ball. Babar Azam at mid-on just runs back, takes a comfortable catch. 4th wicket down, as you say. This is going in a hurry, this game.
It is. It's the most fun I can remember in this tournament. It's absolute chaos. 39 for 4 is the score. Rahmanullah Gurbaz goes 10 from 7 balls caught by the Pakistan captain Babar Azam off the bowling of Hasan Ali. It went flying high towards long on, and though it went a mile in the air, it just didn't have the distance. Zadran comes to the middle, and the score at 39 for 4. This game is moving along quickly. It's only going to take one of these to stay in for 5 overs, and they could be into a decent total, but the worry is how quickly they're losing wickets.
And Najib last game too, finished the game off against Scotland, finished their innings off.
Janat on strike, clip round the corner for 4. Filled up inside the circle at fine leg, and it whistles down towards the dugouts with the Afghanistan team applauding. The score 43 for 4.
Yeah, Hasan Ali, a wicket first ball, and that one is a gift to anyone. I think anyone worth a pinch of salt can get that for 4. Fine leg up in the circle, miss a leg stump and just get anything on it. It's 4 runs down there.
So Karim Janat, 23 years old, he's on 10 from 4 and plays defensively. Well, there's no fun in that. What's he doing? Pushes it into the offside, and there is no run. I'll see a replay of that dismissal. He gave it absolutely everything.
And you know what? The shot was on. just didn't quite execute as well as he'd like to. The shot was on. Top edge, you know, wasn't a great ball, but produced the wicket.
So Hassan Ali to bowl to Karim Janat again. And scores so far in the tournament. Well, one game, didn't bat. No ball, hold on a moment. So umpire Joel Wilson says that Hassan Ali overstepped. He's just overstepped.
Do you reckon these guys need an invitation to have a free hit?
Yeah.
Every ball's a free hit so far.
It'd be fun if he blocked it. I don't sense that's coming.
I don't think he's blocking this one.
Janat is on strike. Free hit, well bowled. Right at the toes, and it's a dot ball. That is as good as it gets.
That's class, though, from Hassan Ali. Yeah, made a mistake. To repay his captain, he pulled out the perfect Yorker there. Great bowling.
High in the air it went. That catch. And Babar Azam had quite a long time to think about it, actually. We get a new detail statistically, and that is apex height, so the absolute maximum height the ball has gone from the ground. 22 metres that went up, which is quite a long way.
It is, yeah.
Janat on strike, plays the ball into a little bit of space, not a huge amount of space, but enough in the offside. And Fakhar Zaman will pick up with a single taken. 45 for 4 in his T20 World Cup cricket. Dubai is the venue. Afghanistan winning the toss. Unusually, and when I said it earlier, you looked at me like, are you sure?
What?
They're batting first.
Yeah, they bucked the trend. They've gone against, you know, the statistics, you know, but they backed themselves to put a total on the board, and I reckon they've come out here with just, you know, everything, the adrenaline pumping probably a little bit too much, instead of just being calm and targeting that 145, 150.
Hasan in bowls. It's nicely, cautiously played by Najibullah Zadran into the offside, and there is no run. First ball he's faced, and he played it very cautiously, competently. This Afghanistan batting lineup, I mean, everyone that comes in pretty much, as you look down it, still to come, we've got Mohammad Nabi, who gives it a whack. Golbadin Naib, similar. Rashid Khan, well, we know what he can do.
Yeah, he gives it a tap as well.
Final ball of the power play then. 45 for 4 is the score. Hassan Ali roars in once more. This is hit firmly through the offside for a boundary. Right out towards those Afghanistan supporters. The green, the red and the black flags flying. And they celebrate a boundary at the end of the most dramatic 6 overs that you could wish to see. 49 for 4 is the score.
Najib just showing all his class there. Hassan Ali getting it just outside the line of the stumps, and he rocks back and uses the pace, late cut, but past the left hand of backward point. It disappears to the boundary. Great shot, great finish for Afghanistan for this power play. Unfortunately for them, though, they've lost 4 wickets. I still don't think it would have changed the way they played. And they've still got plenty to come in to give it a hit.
Well, the ball's getting a bit of attention from the umpire, who has a little look at it, and I'm not surprised that it might be a little worse. They've got the scissors out, a little bit of the seam has just started coming off a touch, and umpire Chris Brown gets the old nail scissors to it. 6 overs gone, 49 for 4 is the score. And this game significant because there is the potential for real trouble for either New Zealand or India if Pakistan can get a victory in this game. And the reason being, and I'll go through it in a moment, as we see the leg spin of Shadab Khan bowling. It's cut away, nicely timed, but only as far as backward point. Because Pakistan have won their opening 2 matches, and they've beaten India, they played superbly well, winning by 10 wickets in that game, and then beat New Zealand, the 2 big guns, if you like, alongside them in the group. This is dropped a little bit short, pushed through the offside, the crowd roar in delight, fielder running round and has done well. I'll get a couple of runs, looked like it could be enough with that back foot drive for a boundary, but it isn't quite. 51 for 4, 6.2 overs gone, and so Pakistan, you would expect, would beat Namibia and Scotland, which are their remaining games after this one. So Shadab in again, forward with a straight bat is Janat. It's pushed as far as the bowler, and there is no run. And so that means one of the top 2 spaces is taken. If Pakistan win this game, that, you know, you can be pretty certain they'll beat Namibia and Scotland. You never know, but that looks likely. Shadab in. Janat cuts the ball away, and it's stopped at backward point by Mohammad Hafeez. And again, no run. So then you're looking at one of New Zealand and India being eliminated in the tournament. They've lost their opening games. You would expect them to beat again those 3 weaker sides in the tournament. So Afghanistan, Namibia, Scotland in this group. Shadab in. And this is played away into the offside. Nicely struck, but stopped in the covers, and there's no run. So just 2 from the over so far. And therefore, Sunday's game between New Zealand and India, if they are, as we expect, going to go on and beat Namibia, Afghanistan and Scotland, those 2 sides, the winner of that game will go through. Shadab bowls. Played into the offside, but again towards backward point, and Hafeez, 2 from the over, 7 gone, 51 for 4. And so we're in a position where if Pakistan win this game, they've done their job in terms of creating that super showdown on Sunday, which is thrilling.
Isn't it amazing that their second game is almost a semi-final or quarter-final?
And India will expect to be winning this tournament. They expect to win every tournament, but they'll be expected to win this one more than others, perhaps. Stuart, thank you for the time being.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
And we'll hear more from Stuart Law as we go through the day. Former Bangladesh and West Indies coach. I'm pleased to say Liam Plunkett, World Cup winner with England in 2019, is back alongside us. Afghanistan 51 for 4. And it sort of seems unbelievable that in a group of 6 teams, India could be facing a must-win game in just their second game, but that's how it's looking.
Yeah, as we said in the previous games, them wickets can help every team really. If you get some average wickets and it's hard to score, it gives some advantage to the other teams that are not as strong as India. But as much as India a strong powerhouse team, I don't mind them getting knocked out, I'm afraid. So gives England a better chance. So.
Once an England cricketer, always an England cricketer. Right then, Imad Wasim is going to bowl, the hair tied up. To well to Najib, just that flick of the arm. Left arm spinach, chipped in the air off a leading edge, but dropped safely. They're not looking comfortable. And out of the power play, it suddenly feels like Afghanistan have gone really into their shells.
Yeah. But then wickets, they're probably thinking we have to get a decent score on the board, know how strong Pakistan are at batting, and they've been in some serious form of late. So they need to put some sort of total on the board. If they keep going and trying to clear the ropes all the time, they could be in for 70 all out, so they need to make some sort of total.
Imad is in. This is run off the outside half of the bat towards short third, and there is no run. So the dot ball's continuing to add up. Just 2 runs from the last 8 deliveries, which is much, much slower than anything else we've seen from Afghanistan in this game. Najib on strike. Plays the ball behind square, calling through for the single. It's actually quite good running that, because Janat set off from the non-striker's end. He was running to the more risky end and gets home quite comfortably for a single.
Not that you want to be giving singles away, but it's good fielding, throwing the ball back on the wicket there to get some scratch on the ball to get it reversed later, which the Pakistan guys are really good at executing at the back end.
In comes Imad Wasim, played into the offside, out towards backward point. And there is no run. See, these are the things that you spot, and you can see what's happening.
I think as a player, you're not supposed to do it, but I mean, if there's a chance to try and stop a single, if you can throw the odd ball into the square, that's what you're trying to do. You want to scruff the ball up and get it swinging.
Imad is in, round the wicket. Played pretty effectively, actually, down the ground towards mid-on. And there is 1 run taken. So score predictor at the moment says 1-3-4, which will not, I sense, be enough for Afghanistan.
No, you're not backing that score. So yeah, hopefully they put a decent total on the board, but obviously Pakistan are in form. They're a great outfit.
Imad Wasim round the wicket, helped on its way around the corner. It's gone into space. There is a fielder running round to try and stop it. The dive comes in. Actually, it's quite effective from Rauf, who is a wholehearted fielder, and he prevents that 4. So ball that maybe should have been put away isn't. 4 from the over, 8 gone, 55 for 4. If you missed it earlier on today, victory for West Indies in their game against Bangladesh. It was a thriller, came down to the final ball, but Andre Russell kept his nerve. Dot ball with 4 needed for victory, and a valuable win for West Indies. 55 for 4 is the score in this second game, with Afghanistan choosing to bat first against a thus far all-conquering Pakistan side. What are we going to see here? We're going to see Shadab bowling again, having conceded just 2 from his first over. This is turning away from the right-hander, pushed up towards deep cover, and single is taken, so 56 for 4.
Good cricket, that's what they say there. Well bowled, well played, and well fielded.
We've seen moments of incredibly bad cricket as well today, which is, and I don't know what I enjoy more.
I think watching, I like to see, obviously, someone who's very skillful and professional, but I don't mind the odd blunder. It's fun to watch sometimes. Here
comes Shadab, and deep in the crease, Najib defends. But it's nice to know that these incredibly talented individuals can do things that the rest of us do on a Sunday afternoon on the village green. 56 for 4 is the score. Shadab to bowl to Najib. And he's in now, reverse sweep attempted, and he gets hold of it. It's going to go down towards the boundary, and it'll get there. Rauf can't cut it off, and it almost feels like those Afghanistan batters are targeting that area of the ground that's full of Afghanistan supporters as well, but they roar that ball to the fence. It's 60 for 4.
I like watching the Afghani lads play, because it's a freedom. They've got nothing to lose. They didn't go into this game as favourites, and they play against a lot of the teams, and they're not there as favourites, so they're quite free sometimes the way they play and go about the game. They just looks like they love the game to play.
Shadab bowling, the defensive push into the offside, and there is no run. And that is an incredibly enjoyable thing to watch, isn't it, when you see a team with such freedom?
Yeah, with passion and excitement, it's always good to watch.
Shadab it in. Sweep, this time conventional, goes as far as Imad, running round towards short, fine leg. Another dot ball, so 5 from the over. Singles are proving quite hard to come by for Afghanistan at the moment. 1 ball left of the over. Shadab in the green boots. Bearded figure moves in now. It's dropped short, whacked into the leg side, behind square. Again, the fielder running round. This time won't get there. It's Hafeez. Legs pumping, he dived, he just couldn't stop it. And 9 from the over, feels an awful lot healthier. 64 for 4.
Good over in the end, yeah. Good finish, good boundary, well put away. Some skillful batting. I've not seen too much of the Afghanistan's play of late. But as I said, it's always fun to watch, and they definitely can put away the bad ball, and there's some talented players in this team.
Hafeez gave it everything, and it was
not quite, but yeah, nearly did.
It was sort of not far from the Klinsman, was it? Sort of full-length dive.
I think it maybe was close to him than he thought, so he didn't quite need that dive, but not quite the long barrier, but also not the full-out stretch, so caught in the middle of it there. I can say that now that I'm doing a bit of this.
Oh yeah, totally. This is hit in the air. He's got underneath it. Janat looking for the 6, but finds the fielder. A deep mid-wicket. Catch is taken. A 5th wicket falls. And after a few moments of calm and restraint, eventually Janat just could not resist going for the big heave-ho. And another wicket falls. 64 for 5.
Yeah, obviously disappointing. Time to maybe just knock it around a little bit. You got some obviously Nabi and stuff coming in the back end, but another wicket. It's going to be a tough ask to put on a big total now. With obviously you've got Rashid Khan a bit later on down the order, but you need to put a decent score on the total to beat Pakistan with their talent and the batsmen they've got coming in.
Fakhar Zaman, it was out there in the deep, and it could not have been more comfortable for him. We're going to have a drinks break, I think. It's in the 10th over, and midway through the innings, close enough, and normally the case when we're in the 10th over and a wicket falls, we do see the drinks break taken a little early, and the Pakistan players, you sense, will be feeling rather more cheerful about life than Afghanistan at the moment. And this is a Pakistan side that we know the ability with the bat, Babar Azam at the top of the order in particular, Rizwan similarly, but the bowling unit, Liam, how do you assess how good it is and it could be?
I think, yeah, I mean, it is really good. It seems to have settled the last year or so. I think at times, after the Champions Trophy, which they won, they went through a little bit of time where there were new people coming in, but it feels now they've got like a set team, and they play them bowlers day in, day out, and it shows that they're consistent. They've got some real pace in there, some real skill, a lot of variety. Obviously left arm quick, right arm quick. So yeah, it's obviously great to watch. They're a tight unit, and as I said, they've been consistent. So it shows by the winning and performing throughout this competition so far.
There's no Mohammad Amir any longer in this Pakistan side, and but in Shaheen Afridi, you've got one of the most exciting fast bowlers in the world game.
Yeah, I mean he seems to love the game, doesn't he? I remember when he first came on the scene, I was 12th for England and he was 12th for Pakistan, and he introduced himself and then he was telling me about everybody he got out so far. So he obviously loves the game and is excited by it, but since then, that was maybe 3-4 years ago, he's come on he's done really well for them. He's picked up wickets at a good strike rate, runs in and bowls fast. A left armer who can do that and swing it back at pace is worth his weight in gold. So.
Here comes Mohammad Nabi, former skipper of this Afghanistan side. And Nabi, he's experienced, he's a very proficient cricketer. And he'll look to perhaps try and just consolidate a little bit here. It has been fifth gear from everybody. But Nabi, who has played over 200 times now for Afghanistan, and a lot of T20 cricket around the world in the franchise leagues. He knows what he's doing, and he knows these sort of situations.
You do. If you're Pakistan captain now, do you want to bring a strike bowler and try and put a few more nails in the coffin here? There's a good chance to get a few pulls, 6-7 down. I know there's plenty of overs left, but maybe worth a punt.
Here comes Imad Wasim, left arm spin around the wicket. Right-handed Nabi. It's a little cramped for room, pushes the ball into the offside, and there's no run. I see a replay of that dismissal. It came right off the toe of the bat. It could easily have just hit that toe and bounced straight back to the bowler. It was that sort of miss-hit, if you like. It still went a long way up in the air. Imad Wasim into bowl to Nabi. Again, looking to the offside to try and find a gap. Can't do so. 64 for 5.
It's a skill just bowling little left-arm sliders. It does really well in the world. Growing up as a kid, and you've said if you play international cricket, you're going to face someone who bowls left arm straight on us. You'd be thinking it'd be absolute easy peasy, but on these wickets, the way.
Oh, is that an outside edge? No, there was excitement from Rizwan, who threw the ball up. It wasn't far from the swinging blade of Nabi. It goes through to the keeper. These sort of dart-like deliveries.
Your darts, but it's just they vary the pace so much. That's what's hard. They read you so well. They give it flight. The next one comes in at you, so they're very clever the way the ball.
Imad bowls. Pace taken off it slightly. It's on the pads of Nabi, and he will get a run on this occasion. Just a single. Afghanistan 65 for 5. And a ball left of the 10th over. The rate of scoring's been good. It's just the rate of wickets has been problematic for Afghanistan. And that's what's done for them, really. As you see, the success that someone like Imad Wasim has, as you say, on paper, there's no sort of. It feels unlikely to be so effective.
Yeah, it just cramps you up, doesn't give you any space to play your shots. And as you said, he got a wicket there with someone trying to slap him to cow corner, and it's quite a hard shot against someone like that who squeezes you for room.
Najib, the left-hander, on strike. Defended, and there is no run. So the end of the over, halfway stage of the innings, just the one run from that over. That's Imad having concluded his 4, 2 for 25. And 10 overs gone, 65 for 5 is the score. I suppose the issue is not how many they can score, it's how long they can stay out there doing it. Liam, I'm going to get out of the way, Simon Mann standing by.
Yeah, I think obviously not too much left. Rashid Khan can be dangerous and score some quick runs, but I think it's up to these two to bat for the next 5 overs and maybe try and get them up to 100 and then have a few overs at the end to get a decent total. But yeah, you're right, you don't want to lose any quick wickets right now and leave the tail vulnerable to facing the strike bowlers.
Gulbuddin Naib, Rashid Khan, Naveen-ul-Haq and Mujib-ur-Rahman to come for Afghanistan. Here is Shadab going into bowl to Nabi. Nabi goes back and plays it into the onside, looking for 2 just outside the circle. They decide against that. Throws on its way. 1 more to the total. And Nabi, the skipper, moves to 2. Najibullah Zadran there on 15. It's fair to say there have been a few shots played in this game. I think there have actually been more shots played in this game than there were in the first part of that West Indies match today. First half of the West Indies innings, which was slightly unexpected. West Indies tied down, eventually winning. Najibullah Zadran knocks that one into the onside off Shadab for a single. 67 for 5. It was a really frenetic start. Shots being played, catches in the deep, sixes. I mean, there were 3 thrilling strokes played, but not perhaps quite judicious enough. Here's Shadab bowling leg breaks to Nabi, and Nabi gets a leg break which he plays off the back foot into the offside towards extra cover, and there is no run. Nabi this time drives, 2 extra cover, good stop, and there's no run. Babar Azam, who seems to be in the thick of the action, Pakistan's captain, he's picked up a couple of catches already, good piece of fielding to his left hand side. There was no run. Shadab banks in again and bowls to Nabi, who comes forward and plays defensively into the offside. There is no run. Shadab skips across to pick up. It's over. Nabi, well, playing conservatively. Afghanistan have to regroup a bit. Can't totally go into their shell, but they've got to look to piece something together. Nabi goes back, cuts it away, straight to backward point. There's no run. Shadab very quickly through the 11th over. 2 singles off it. And Afghanistan, after 11, are 67 for 5. Pakistan have a grip on this game after that thrilling but slightly flawed start to the innings.
I think at this point, do you as the batting group think we need a decent score to beat Pakistan? So do you just say, all right, let's just put foot to the pedal and try and score as quick as we can? If we get bowled out, we get bowled out. Or do you hang around and try and scrape to 130? Is that going to be enough? So do you gamble? Someone comes off, scores a 50 or 60 off 20 odd balls and puts a decent total on the board?
That's the question I should be asking you, really.
I never made them decisions, mate. So it's but it is, but also, if, as you said, with this batting lineup, a couple of wickets and there could be 85 all out, but if Nabi gets going, he generally does hit it well later on, so if he gets his eye in and strikes later on.
Hasan Ali round the wicket, bowls to Najibullah, plays towards mid-off. Again, he plays quite quietly, but yeah, I mean, there's no point, you feel, just knocking it around for ones and dots and for too long. They probably just settle it down a bit, and then they're going to have to get going, aren't they? Otherwise, you're not going to have any sort of contest at all. They're not going to give themselves a chance, you wouldn't think. But yeah, there is always possibility of doing that. You get bowled out for 85. Hasan Ali bowls, a nice tight line, and Najibullah Zadran defends. It does look as if they just slightly changed their approach, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, the Pakistan ball is obviously very skillful as well, so it may be a bit of that. There's some good disguises, slow balls there. But maybe they're thinking that let's just try and bat through some time here, a few runs on the board, and give ourselves a chance at the end, maybe 18 balls to tee off and score as many as we can. But it's not an easy ask.
No, it's a good Pakistan bowling lineup. Hasan Ali, hair flowing, rushing into bowl short, bit down the leg side. Is that okay? Yes, it is. The umpires say that's fine. Short ball through to the keeper. 1 for the over. 67 for 5. Oh, it's fair to say earlier that wasn't Afghanistan's approach, wasn't it? It was just go for it, really, full on.
Yeah.
I mean, they do press the accelerator. Say that again. They do press the accelerator right down to the floor in the early overs, and sometimes it will come off, but it's hard to make it come off against a quality lineup like Pakistan. Hasan Ali, purposeful run up, goes in and bowls just outside the off stump, forced away by Najibullah Zadran, straight to Babar Azam. Frustrated by that. Not a bad stroke, but picked out the fielder on the offside. So there is no run.
Yeah, obviously the last game, that's what they did really well, was attacked early on and scored some quick runs. So you'd back yourself to do it again, and why not? It's the best time to score on a flat pitch when the ball's new. Try and get away with the first few balls if it's swinging, then give yourself the best chance to score quickly. The infield's up and the boundaries are fast.
Murray, talking about this Afghanistan side, says it reminds him of the Sri Lanka side that won the World Cup in 1996. Here is Hasan Ali bowling to Najibullah Zadran, cut away but straight to Shadab Khan at backward point, and there's no run. And that felt like a ball to hit, but that's 5 dot balls in the over now. How old were you in 1996, Liam?
I was 11.
So do you remember Sri Lanka in '96, or was it
So who was that? De Silva, Ranatunga and all them guys?
Yeah, that side that won the World Cup in '96, the 50-over World Cup.
Can't
really remember it.
Not too much. No. I'm probably out playing on the lamppost outside with the tennis ball, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they changed the way the game was played, really. One-day cricket was played. Hasan bowls, and again that's chopped away, and Shadab again at backward point stops it, and that is a maiden over. The 12th over. I just wonder whether, I think that Sri Lanka side, they had, I think, just looking at Afghanistan comparing, I think they had more higher class players than that Afghanistan have got.
Yeah.
And they did have that. I mean, they had Jayasuriya for a start, who was a world star, wasn't he? Went on to be a world star. But in the World Cup semi-final of 1996, they had 2 players caught at deep third in the first over.
Yeah.
So they did go for it in the way that Afghanistan go, but they had Aravinda de Silva, who was a top class player.
I think the first class system in Sri Lanka was obviously a bit better and more opportunity to play good cricket, and yet maybe.
Shadab bowls to Nabi, turns it into the onside for 1. He's looking for 2 just outside the circle. He's coming back for the second, throws on its way, and actually hits the bat on the way back, but there was no attempt to change direction or anything like that. It's perfectly okay, so there's no question of appeal or anything like that. 2 runs to Afghanistan. So
you were saying that they had more skillful players who probably played at a higher level a bit longer, but they did change the game, and as you said, the way from ball 1, they looked to score, looked to clear the ropes, and in a flair way, slicing the ball and carving it everywhere.
Shadab to Nabi, and Nabi comes cautiously forward there as if he wasn't quite sure which way that ball was going to turn. It was a leg break. Played it defensively into the offside, and Shadab went away to his left to pick up, and there is no run. 69 for 5 in the 13th over. Shadab, this bouncy run, goes in and bowls to Nabi, turns it into the onside just outside the circle. No chance of 2 this time. Picked up in the deep, so 1 more. 70 for 5 in the 13th over. I can understand what Murali was saying about this Afghanistan looks like Sri Lanka, because they did have that really ultra aggressive approach that Sri Lanka had as well. I remember them playing India in Delhi, a fascinating game where India got a decent score, 270, something like that. You thought, well, that'll probably win the game, before we really knew much about Sri Lanka, and then within 7 overs there was 70 for no wicket, which is unheard of in those days. It was just like cricket like I'd never seen before. And he thought, this is something different, and they had the quality of player. Sweep shot from Najibullah. Is he going to be caught deep back of square leg? No, over the fielder's head. It's gone for 6. Really well timed.
I think I caught the back end of that Sri Lankan squad, Jayasuriya, when they beat us, when they hammered us in England. I think we got maybe 300 and then knocked off in 36 overs at Headingley or something.
That's right, you played in that game.
Yeah,
you did. You're right, you did, yeah.
Yeah, so that was toward the back end of that generation. When Jayasuriya was one of the hardest to bowl at that time. So he would have fit in perfectly now with the way he plays. Just the freedom he played, and hit the ball in awkward areas. He was tough to bowl at. Yeah,
I was there that day. It was an incredible day's cricket. Here's Shadab bowling. Oh, he goes past the outside edge. No, he takes the outside edge.
Googly.
He's been caught behind. You heard Liam Plunkett say it there. Googly from Shadab. And Najibullah Zadran, after sweeping Shadab for 6, pushed forward, nicked it through, and Rizwan did the rest. And Afghanistan are 76 for 6 coming to the end of the 13th over. Zadran on his way for 22, and that's been the story for Afghanistan. A few shots and 1 or 2 starts, but no one has been able to go on. It's feathered through to the keeper.
After getting dispatched for 6 the ball before, it's a great comeback. He didn't look to go across it. He might have picked it, but it was just a good ball, and obviously managed to nick that outside edge, and it's obviously a big wicket in terms of this game. So obviously get a new batsman in, fresh face, and the pressure's back on. Afghanistan are in a tricky, sticky situation here.
How are you at reading leg spin?
I didn't face too much towards the back end, but if I was trying to strike the ball, maybe if it's going to be a leggy or googly, I'll just try and sweep it or slog sweep it. But all right, I played a lot with Rashid, and he's one of the best at disguising the ball. So, but towards the back end, I didn't face too much spin. I went in the back end, 5 overs to go in a game, and it was mainly pace.
When you say Rashid, you mean Adil Rashid?
Adil Rashid,
not
sorry,
Rashid Khan, yeah.
Yeah, Adil Rashid, yeah.
Adil Rashid. Yeah. Right, Gulbuddin is in at number 8 for Afghanistan. Gulbuddin Naib. And this Afghan innings in danger of subsiding into something inconsequential. And they have entertained us, but Pakistan have just known a bit too much for them so far. Shadab's first wicket from his penultimate ball of his spell. He goes in now and bowls to Gurbaz. He's on the back foot, playing quietly into the offside, and that's the end of the over. So 76 for 6.
Good spell of bowling as well by Shadab. Kept it tight and picking up that vital wicket there to put the momentum back in Pakistan's favour. Even though it probably wasn't their favour anyway. But
1 for 22 from 4 overs. So the 2 spinners are finished. Imad Wasim 4 overs, 2 for 25. And well, I presume from here we're going to see the 3 pace bowlers finish off. And they've still got the prospect of 2 overs from Shaheen Afridi yet. These Afghanistan lower order players. 2 overs, 1 for 8. Rauf has got 3 overs to bowl, and Hasan has got 2. So Rauf has got to bowl now, which indeed he is going to do. Otherwise, the Babar's bowling plans would be completely out of sync. You want to make a mistake like that? Not that they do very often.
Probably hoping they might not need the overs at the back end. Yeah.
Could be, that could be the case. But Rauf does have to bowl now because he's got 3 overs left. Here he is outside the off stump, thick edge 4, down towards fine third boundary. Bit of width there from Rauf, cut away by Nabi.
I think even though it was a thick edge, Rauf won't be that happy with that delivery. Obviously you want to be straight at the stumps on this wicket. I don't think Nabi's looking to damage him. So obviously a bit of width. It's not a great delivery, even though it was a thick edge, and it's 4 runs.
Everything greatly received by Afghanistan. Nabi to 9. He's a very experienced player at T20 level. He's not a bad player to have coming in at number 7 for Afghanistan. Rauf bowls and Nabi defends. He respects that delivery. It was on middle and off. Nabi played it away, and Rauf went away to his left-hand side to pick it up. So there's no run. Gurbaz, it's his 50th T20 today. So none of those experienced players in this Afghanistan lineup. A few youngsters and a few experienced players, including the skipper at the moment. And he's also played 68 one-day internationals. Strike rate in T20 of 121. Gurbaz. He watches on. Nabi's on strike. He's on the back foot, playing towards point. Ball that's short of a length. Shadab rushing in. Picks up, and there is no run. 80 for 6 is the Afghanistan score. Tomorrow, a reminder that England are playing against Australia, and that is a 3 o'clock start. 3 o'clock on a Saturday. I was almost tempted to say a 3 o'clock kickoff, but 3 o'clock start for that England match against Australia tomorrow. And you feel the winners will have an excellent chance of making the semi-finals. They'll be almost there. And the other game tomorrow is a match in England's group, South Africa against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka looking to win their second match, and so too South Africa. They've played one and lost one so far. Sorry, won one and lost one so far, those two teams. 80 for 6. Rauf goes in to bowl to Nabi down the leg side, tries to swat it away, and a wide is called. Rauf is saying, what, did he nick that? And Rizwan is saying, I don't think so, I'm not sure, it's up to you. He was concentrating on diving and making the stop. What are they going to do? The timer's on. They only have one review left. Babar, what are you going to do? It's ticking away, down 4, 3, 2, 1, no. They're not going to go for it. It'd be galling if there was something on it. Let's have a look, just seeing the replay. It was quite close to the glove. I don't think if it did hit something, it wasn't the hip. That could have been a little feather through on the glove there. There was a sound in the effects microphone, wasn't there? Anyway, they did not review it. Wide is called. Rauf goes in, bowls outside the off stump, up and over. Extra cover from Nabi. Fine strokes, gone away for 4. Well, it was in the slot for it, and Nabi duly delivered.
It's a beautiful cricket shot. Pretty full, but it was actually nicely executed. It's actually elegantly played. He is so dangerous, Nabi. If he does get in, he can change momentum, and he can score quick 50 if he has to. But yeah, I think he's disappointed with the length he bowled there. If he's wants to be Bale's height, whacking the ball into the pitch, and it's tricky to score, so he'd be disappointed with it.
Rauf bowls, just dragged his length back a bit there, and that's difficult for Nabi to play into the onside. Plays it back to the bowler and there's no run. Yeah, I mean, if you're a batter, where Haris Rauf bowled that previous delivery is where you want it, really, isn't it? Just a bit of width outside the off-stump and quite full.
Most good batsmen have put that away, either over the top or they'll drive it through the covers on the floor. So yeah, I mean, that's what you're waiting for. When you're not looking to tee off, you're just waiting for a delivery that's bad that you can put your hands through. So as a bowler, you're trying to hit the top of the stumps, make him think about what length you're going to bowl, and try and get him off strike or dot him up, but not half volleys, obviously.
85 for 6, last ball of the over. Rauf bowls, Midland leg turned away towards short fine, through for a single. Nabi gets the strike at the end of the over, and Afghanistan are 86 for 6 with 6 overs left. Well, earlier West Indies, after 14 overs, was 70 for 4. They got up to 142 against Bangladesh and won the game. So it is possible, but not easy. Difficult for Afghanistan from this situation against this high quality Pakistan side. Dubai International Stadium not absolutely packed this evening, but a noisy and big crowd in, and lots of support for both sides. And it's good to hear the atmosphere, really, after some games played in front of very few people at all.
Yeah. It's actually a real good ground to play in because of the roof, the way it's built. Even when there's not a big crowd in, it sounds really loud. So you get half capacity, quarter capacity, it still seems like it's buzzing. It's very, very, very noisy, especially the Afghanis and the Pakistani crowds.
Right behind their sides here is Hasan Ali bowling down the leg side to Nabi. Collected by Rizwan, wide signalled by umpire Chris Brown. Did you play in the test match and Adil Rashid was out near the end?
No, I was drinks boy for that one. I think I was 12th. Yeah, I remember that. It was test. It was a good series, actually. It was tough. It's where Cookie got big runs in Abu Dhabi, wasn't
it? That's right. Yeah, it was an interesting series. Pakistan winning it by 2-0 in the end. Hasan Ali bowls full outside the off stump. That's driven away by Nabi for 4. Well, if you bowl there, he's just going to hit you for 4. Again, not a great delivery.
Exactly the same shot as the previous over. He's going to put them away. As I said, he's a good player, so he'll prey on them bad balls. So obviously bad execution. Hasan won't be happy with the delivery. Off cutter, but it was too full. Easy to get your hands through and put it away for 4.
And that lovely hitting slot outside the off stump, over extra cover, off to the boundary. 91 for 6. Nabi gets a shorter ball outside the off stump, which he tries to cut, and it flies through to the wicketkeeper Rizwan. He's looking for the cut shot through backward point. And a pace from Hasan Ali, pace and bounce actually as well.
Carried through really nicely.
Over the top of the bat, over the top of the cut shot. Nabi's gone to 18 with those 2 boundaries of late. Afghanistan 91 for 6. Hasan Ali rushing in, bowls to Nabi, who pulls a low pull down towards deep backward square leg. Haris Rauf is there, sends a return in on the bounce to Rizwan, through for 1 more. Nabi to 19. Gulbadin's been in for a while, but he's not had much of the strike. He's only faced 1 ball so far, watching on, getting used to the pace of the pitch from the other end. And Nabi, just in case he hasn't, has come down the pitch and just explained exactly what the bowler's bowling and the conditions in quite animated fashion as well. Nabi seems to be enjoying himself. He knows that a lot rests on him.
Yeah, he's got himself comfortable now. He's got his eye in, so helping the new batter, telling him what's what and helping him get his eye in, and hopefully these two can put a little partnership on here.
Hasan Ali bowls to Gulbadin, who's forward, turning into the onside towards mid-wicket. Picks out the fielder there, so there's no run. Babar Azam picks up. Must be very happy with how things are going so far. He knows this is the opportunity just about final place, with Scotland and Namibia to come. victories already against India and New Zealand. On the chase, and on the chase again tonight. Hasan Ali bowls and is defended by Gulbuddin into the offside in a tight line to off stump better. Not as full as that one was belted away earlier in the over by Nabi.
So such a good length on here, decent sized boundaries. It's going to take a good shot to score boundary from that position. It's going to be a risk, so you, as a bowler, you're happy with that. If a batsman hits you from that length, then hats off to them, it's a good shot.
Shaheen Shah Afridi loosening up. He'll be in action fairly soon. Got 2 more overs to go. Gulbuddin faces Hasan Ali and he's underway, flicking that away off his hip towards deep square leg. Gets a single and he also gets the strike because that's the last ball of the 15th over. Afghanistan are 93 for 6. So another strong professional job done by Pakistan so far, and on top in this game. Afghanistan thrilled us at the start. They played lots of shots. It was a bit frantic, a bit frenetic, and quite a few of their batters perished. Catches in the deep. Pakistan gratefully accepted and received them, and they are at the moment on course for 3 out of 3 with 5 overs left of their innings. We have a double change. Stuart Law and Henry Moran to take you through to the end of the Afghanistan innings.
Thank you very much, Simon. Yeah, what can they muster? I think this next over might be interesting. Shaheen Shah Afridi bowling at some of the lower order batters could be quite the experience for them.
Mind you say lower order, both these boys can give it a whack as well. They're very capable with a cricket bat. So still, again, good contest. We seem to have missed a lot. You and I have just been off for a period of time. We've missed a lot of cricket again. This is just like cricket played in fast forward.
It is a bit, yeah. So Shaheen Shah Afridi, he's got 1 for 8 so far. He's bowling to Gulbuddin, who plays back to the bowler. Down the track at the non-striker's end is Nabi, and looking to steal a quick single. I can see a big roar around the ground, and that is because Shaheen Afridi has just been shown on the big screen. He gives everybody a wave, wearing a dark t-shirt and a baseball cap.
He's worshipped in Pakistan.
It's rather disappointing he's not playing. They normally, this sort of tournaments, absolutely is thing.
He's 2 years younger than
Afridi bowls very short, whistles over the shoulders and is wide. 94 for 6. He's 2 years. He's younger than Shoaib Malik.
Well, apparently.
94 for 6 is the score, and
he's been great. It was great for Pakistan. It was box office. Shaheen Afridi, whether it be with the bat or with the ball, and he still attracts a massive crowd in Pakistan.
I was lucky to be present for his only T20 100, or his first T20 100.
Okay.
Where do you think it might have been?
Was that Southampton?
No, it was for Hampshire.
Right, okay.
At Derby, of all places. This is on the pads, flicked away, beautiful shot. Dismissed from his presence by Gulbuddin. Behind square on the leg side. And they're creeping towards the 100 mark here, Afghanistan, 98 for 6.
Yeah, once again, it doesn't matter how fast you are. If you don't quite get the line right, it presents an easy boundary option with the field the way it's set. And that's a ball that pitched way outside leg stump, actually, full. And Gulbuddin just gets a healthy, the middle of the bat on it. Fine leg, not in position, and easy boundary.
A big swish at the air from Shaheen Afridi, who looked frustrated by that. He knew he got it wrong. Afridi in. This is a better looking ball, which has run away into the offside in front of square. Shadab Khan will pick up, running around from backward point. The ground gets ever fuller. I've seen some pictures on social media. Just there's some big crowds outside the venue. And clearly the popularity of this tournament and the Pakistan side is growing, and
that crowd that was in for the India-Pakistan game was amazing, wasn't it? It was full house. And
spectacular. Here comes Afridi, played into the offside. That's a good stop at backward point from Shadab, who sprints round and picks up, because that was travelling. 100 is up though. 100 for 6. And now that they've found Shaheen Afridi, watching from one of the executive boxes, I think the big screen is going to have quite a lot of his reaction to different moments in this game, because we've just seen him applauding that stop.
Yeah, That was a great stop too. Shadab Khan, the best fielder in the Pakistan lineup, at backward point, diving full length to his right to knock that down. Still couldn't prevent the single, but probably saved 2, maybe 4.
100 for 6. We've got 4.2 overs left of this innings. Current run rate is 6.4 there or thereabouts. And Afridi, with 1 over to bowl after this, is moving in again to bowl to Gulbuddin, who is up on his toes, pushing into space in the offside. That's well played. And certainly the threat posed by Shaheen Shah Afridi in the initial couple of overs he bowled, it's a very different prospect when that ball's swinging to later on in the innings.
Yeah, correct. And he didn't get the swing at the start of the innings today like he has done in the past 2 games. So maybe the conditions a bit cooler, not providing that swing, but he still provides plenty of action, plenty of questions of the batsman with his pace and Yorker length bounces back of the length.
And that is a Yorker length ball, which is dug out by Nabi. The stumps are thrown down by a smiling Shaheen Shah Afridi, but no danger for Nabi, who remains in his ground. End of the over, reasonably profitable one for Afghanistan, 8 coming from it, 16 gone. It is 101 for 6. And from here, what would be enough, do you think, for Afghanistan to think, okay, we're in the game here?
Well, the 4 overs down, you probably like to think between 8 and 10, so anywhere between, I do sound like a broken record, 135, 140, would provide Afghanistan a bit of a buffer with the 2 great spinners that they have in their lineup. Don't forget you've got Mohammad Nabi too, who's a world-class performer and with the ball and the bat at this level, and they've got some quality quicks, so 135, 140, at least it makes it a decent contest. And Pakistan will still have to play well, but if they make a couple of mistakes, Afghanistan are back in the contest.
Harris Rauf, his 3rd over, 1 for 19 for Rauf so far. Played away into the leg side. Huge roar of approval from those Afghanistan supporters in the ground. 102 for 6. Rauf with this funny stuttering approach. He runs on the spot and then was building energy, charging up, and then begins the drive towards the crease. And he's a really good example of having been discovered quite late, Rauf, of the really interesting different techniques that when players haven't been through systems, if you like.
Yep.
He's in now and bowls to Nabi, waiting on a slower ball and pushing into the offside for a single.
I wish Liam was on right now with it, because I want to ask him a question. And as a frustrated fast bowler myself who couldn't bowl fast, if I could bowl 90, 95 mile an hour, I would not be bowling slow balls. Why is he bowling slow balls? Run in and just bowl hard length, hit it hard. If they play, it's the best shot, you've got to play the best shot you can. Slow ball gives everyone a bit of a chance, and we saw Mohammad Shahzad at the start. Shaheen Afridi bowled him slow ball outside off stump, he hit it over cover for 4. Then he went back to 90 mile an hour, chip one straight in the middle.
Gulbuddin is beaten. There's half an appeal towards
bowl that.
Well, yeah.
91 mile an hour. I don't care who you are, that's hard to hit.
Chris Brown, not interested. And, you're not exerting less energy, are you? Because you have to all intents and purposes, make it look like you're going to bowl at 90 miles an hour.
That's right.
That one absolutely did for Gulbuddin. He did not know how to play it. As it flew through to the gloves of Rizwan. 103 for 6 then. Score predictor reckons 132 is a possibility, or the likely outcome based on all of these stats. 3 on the leg side boundary. There's a deep cover and a deep 3rd as well. As in comes Rauf, who keeps horribly low. Pace taken off it again, and 2 dot balls running now.
The change-up was there. It's not a big change-up. It's 80 mile an hour compared to 90 mile an hour, but still. Afghanistan they're in a pickle. You've got to hit the best ball for 4 or 6. It makes it a lot more difficult. If they can just get one boundary away here, I reckon they'll target Hasan Ali when he comes back for his last over.
Yeah, Hasan Ali has 1 left, as does Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Rauf will after this. very full. Dug out, hits the stumps at the non-striker's end, and a bit of misfortune for Gulbuddin, who would have got a single but doesn't. Another dot ball, 103 for 6. Just getting a little bit stuck here in the 17th over. Nabi is rehearsing some aggressive strokes at the non-striker's end. I don't know if that's to try and give a subliminal message to Gulbuddin.
Yeah, get on with it. It's amazing there, see Gulbuddin batting both feet behind the popping crease, trying to get under the Yorker that he's trying to bowl Haris Rauf.
Rauf in again. This is back of a length and whipped into the leg side with a flourish out towards Fakhar Zaman at square leg. 1 run is taken, and so it'll be Gulbuddin on strike at the start of the 18th over. So it's that Hassan Ali over that we're looking at.
Oh, I think so. I think Haris Rauf's got too much pace and a bit of guile now. He got noticed, didn't he, from the Big Bash. He went and played for Melbourne Stars and took the Big Bash by storm. Shaheen Afridi's got that potent Yorker coming from 6'5". It's a difficult prospect. Hassan Ali smaller in stature, similar pace, probably a bit slower than those two, but he'd be the one that they'd be targeting, I would say. And here he is.
Indeed, 18th over to be bowled by Hassan Ali. He's been economical so far, 17 from his 3 overs.
And his first over went for 10. Got the wicket first ball, but then he bowled a couple of bad balls and 10 off his first over, so it's a pretty good comeback from Hassan.
And someone like Haris Rauf, it's an amazing story to have come from nowhere to the position that he's in.
And you look at some of the greater fast bowlers of modern time, Lasith Malinga. He never went through a program, just learned how to bowl and on the beach, on the sand of Gaul, and that's how he developed that action, on tape ball cricket, where if he bowled with his arm straight over the top, it sort of sat up and he got hit easy. So he worked that out and never looked back. He was a wonderful bowler, one of the, if not the greatest, one-day exponent.
You'd go that far, really?
Oh, he was a freak. He was unbelievable. At his peak, he was one of the, if not the best.
Hassan is in, and they have gone hard. First ball of the over for 6. Over the leg side, Gulbuddin gets enough of it, and it flies into the stands. 110 for 6.
Once again, slow ball. Run in, bowl your best ball.
Well, Liam is back in the commentary chair. We'll get him to put on the headset just for a moment, because when you were just away having a brief break, Liam, Stuart asked the question, why if you can bowl at 90 miles an hour, would you not?
Especially these lads here, because they bowl great Yorkers. On the last wicket that we watched, maybe you do go slow balls, but on here it's not gripping that much, so it's the opposite way, so smash someone's toes, or even bowl a quick bouncer at your top end speed. But yeah, we're sat here and it's a lot easier for us up here, so but I agree, bowl your best ball.
I was speaking as a very frustrated fast bowler trying to burst out from a batsman, could never bowl fast, and I thought, if you can bowl 90, 95 mile an hour, why are you bowling slow balls?
And also, I mean, a lot of these Afghani guys don't face that day in, day out, so you're not used to that at your head or at your toes, so it's a bit different than 80 miles an hour. So yeah, absolutely, bowl your best ball, that's what generally works, and that's what I generally would stick to.
Thank you very much, Liam. There we go, we got the answer to the question that we were looking for.
Makes sense, so it's surface dependent, I get that. The wicket we did see in Sharjah was probably more conducive to the slow ball, off-speed balls. This one, bash it into the pitch as hard as you can and make them hit your best ball for 4 or 6.
There's been quite a delay in proceedings, I presume, getting the ball back. I can't think any other reason why it would be. Here comes Hassan Ali, though. Gulbuddin drives into the leg side. He's got hold of that. He might have found a gap for 4. He does. Shadab couldn't get round. More celebrations for Afghanistan supporters. 10 from the first 2 balls of this over. This is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and they have targeted Hassan Ali. He's not so much, well, if he's the weaker link, the other 2 are very, very good. But they have targeted him, and the first ball, he's under immense pressure going for 6, and that one just missed his Yorker slightly. Gulbuddin again with, deep in his crease, manages to get the bottom hand through that length ball and puts it in the gap to deep mid-wicket for 4 more.
Enormous celebrations from Afghanistan supporters. There's now a conversation happening between Shadab and Hassan Ali, and the little shift in the field I fancy. It's the pressure immediately put on the bowler, because you see this pattern continuing, it changes everything.
It does, and I think the last thing that Hassan Ali would want now is 3 or 4 of his teammates in his ear saying, "Don't bowl that."
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right, I got that, thank you.
So you're saying don't bowl the half volley?
I wasn't trying to bowl that one.
It's like in football when you see someone about to take a penalty and lots of people coming round and offering advice.
That's right, yeah.
Do you mind?
Stick in the goal, mate.
Gulbadine on strike. Again looking to that leg side. This time doesn't get as much of it and running round. Afridi will get there. Loose throw though, and they do get through for a second. So already 12 runs from the over. Afghanistan 116 for 6 with 15 balls left of the innings. And though Pakistan have been on top in this game and been taking wickets regularly, we know with the strength of that spin attack from Afghanistan, as you mentioned, that you just never know.
You never know, and you can. It's just 2 wickets, in an over, which can happen with those 2 spinners. Just puts immense pressure on the batting lineup. Do they come out and keep playing the same way? They might have to change.
Gulbadine waits on 21, goes into the offside this time, clears the initial fielder, heads out towards the cover boundary, and a brilliant stop. What a piece of fielding that is. It looked for all money that the ball was winning the race.
Zaman, yeah. Brilliant effort in the outfield. Ran 30-40 metres, big dive, full length, one arm. With his right hand, drags it back from the rope. Desperation.
They'll check it, but I think he's stopped that.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's absolutely fine. He's done brilliantly well. We had an unusual situation in the game. I think it was T20 finals day. I think it was, where there was
Jordan Cox, wasn't it? And
the fielder touching the other fielder over the boundary.
Drummond,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Here comes Hassan Ali. Hit away, down the ground, fielder waiting, can't stop it. Another boundary in this hugely profitable over. And if these cheers could get any louder, well, they seem to be doing so. We didn't know there was another decibel that could be reached, but blimey, the noise around this stadium.
That's a great shot again. Shadab Khan at mid-on, doing his best to try and take the catch. In the end, it dropped short. It's another one that could have been nasty and bounced up either in the mouth or nose. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get anything on it. Well, fortunately, he didn't get his face on it. But it's gone for 4. 18 off this over, last ball. Big ball now for both teams.
Well, you called it absolutely. This would be the over their target. Here comes Hassan then, right arm over, hair flowing. And a big swing. Without much connection. Throw comes in at the non-striker's end, and relieved to see that backing up is
it got to him in a hurry.
It did get there quickly. Had it not, there was trouble, and we've seen that in the tournament already involving Pakistan.
No ball.
Oh, no. Goodness me. It's a no ball.
It's gone from bad to worse.
Free hit. He does get close to the line. He's over it. He is, unquestionably. I do like in the IPL the buzzer you get for the no ball.
Yeah.
I think we could do with that in the T20 World Cup. I think it adds a certain something.
Will that mean the announcer then, who just had his moment of glory, he'd be made redundant if they had the buzzer?
I've got to be honest, I'm not overly worried about the announcer not having enough words to say.
No, good call. I'm with you.
OK, here we go. Free hit time. Final ball of this superb over. 19 from it for Afghanistan. Nabi is on strike. Hassan is in. Hit down the ground without perfect timing. A run through for 1. It'll probably just be that single, and it is. It doesn't feel like a tournament where there's been a huge amount of full capitalisation on the free hits. They seem to have been bowled quite well, those deliveries. End of the over, though. And Hassan Ali finishes with 4 overs, 1 for 38. Nabi, the skipper, is on 22. Gulbadine on 28. Afghanistan 125 for 6 with 2 overs remaining.
2 overs remaining, 15 more to get 140. If they can get another over like this, which is probably highly unlikely against Shaheen, Afridi or Harris Rauf, but if they can get that 15 runs, 140, just that total where Afghanistan will feel a little bit more comfortable. Right now they're probably not comfortable. 140 plus. they start thinking, OK, we've got half a chance here.
It's been a really fine partnership, this, because from the position that they were in at 76 for 6 to have put on over 50 runs, or close to 50 runs now, between this pair for the 7th wicket, is a really good recovery, because it did look at one stage like they might struggle to get 100.
They struggled to get 100, but they would have been all out too in about 9 or 10 overs.
Rauf then, up and down on the spot, and now begins the approach. Right arm over, it's hit away in the air. He's not got all of it, and actually it's one of those that's mistimed enough to save him, because it drops short of Shadab at deep mid-wicket, and it is just a single. So 126 for 6. Gurbaz will be on strike, who's got 28 from 19.
He's come in and played well, hasn't he? He's not done anything extravagant, just hit the ball that he can, and if it's in his zone, he's giving it everything he's got. He's played some nice cricket shots and some wonderful heave-hoes to the leg side for 6, and built that total up nicely. Nice little projection at the end here.
Rauf into Gurbaz, gets underneath it, goes again out towards deep mid-wicket, and the busy Shadab Khan runs around to pick up, and once more it's not really timed. And so 2 deliveries in the over, 2 singles. A deep breath from Rauf as he strides back to the end of his mark. It's a hazy night in Dubai. Another unsurprisingly hot day in the Emirates. Tomorrow, 2 fixtures, 1 in Sharjah, 1 in Dubai. 2 big games. I'll bring you all the details in just a moment. Rauf is preparing to bowl once again. He bustles past umpire Chris Brown, and pace taken off the ball. It flies off a toe end and down to the boundary at third for 4 more runs. 131 for 6.
I saw Nabi there making gestures. He was upset he didn't hit it for 6. He's tried to hit it way over mid-on, and it's got the outside edge. It's gone through that gap between short fine leg and the keeper for 4. Not elegant, not where he's intended, but certainly will take the result. 4 runs is pretty good at this stage.
It is, and it doesn't really matter at this point how they come.
It's not about how, it's about how many.
In years to come, in the scorebook, he'll talk about an elegant cover drive that saw them to this total. Right then, here comes Rauf. Navi on strike on 27. He hits the ball into the leg side. It's flat, it's hard, and it's 4. Between the 2 fielders at backward square leg and deep mid-wicket, Nabi gets enough of it. It's 135 for 6.
And Henry, what was that? That was a slow ball. Oh, right, okay. 4 more. Right. Keep it simple.
Do you think there's a degree of because you can, you do? Do you know what I mean?
And sometimes, the situation where you think, right, I'm bowling at the death, I've got to change my pace all the time. If what's working isn't being smashed around the ground, why change? That's you're sort of guessing what the batsman's going to do, and instead of making him play a shot off a really good ball. That was just a drag down at 80 mile an hour instead of fast at up 90 mile. It's a different shot, harder to play.
Next delivery, hit into the ground and towards deep mid-wicket for 1. They're thinking about 2, not there. So another good over this for Afghanistan. 136 for 6 is the score. We've got 7 balls left of the innings, and I think there's a little bit of exhaustion out there in the middle. They've been running hard, this partnership, and Gurbaz on his haunches and just hauls himself up, breathing deeply.
They've been swinging hard, that's for sure.
They have.
That takes a bit of energy.
Yeah, it's not, it's not just the running and the pushing for the singles and the 2s that does that work and taking it out of you. Gurbaz is on strike then. Final ball of the over, worked into the leg side. That's well played, and that's 4 behind square.
Tell me again what that was.
I'm guessing. And 15 from the over, 77 miles an hour, and Rauf sees the ball dragged around the corner. Celebrations for Afghanistan, 140 for 6. And this feels like a decent-ish total, particularly given where they were. This could easily have drifted away badly. that Gurbaz and Nabi have played really well here. They've put on runs, they've taken the opportunities when they've been presented, and the score is 140 for 6.
Yeah, Gurbaz's played a little blinder here at the end. Once again, mixing some, big heave-os with some classic cricket shots. That last one, slower ball into the pitch, onto his hip, and he just swiveled on a pull shot and timed it beautifully for 4. So great. There's 140. How many they can get off this? So they can get to 150, that magic 150. Means we've got a game on our hands, boys.
Shaheen Afridi, a feverish atmosphere around the Dubai Stadium. The crowd have been richly entertained here, and it's funny, isn't it? 140 for 6 may not look like an innings that has been thrills and spills, but it has been hugely entertaining, this.
It has. It's brought a smile to everyone's face in here, I can tell you. Just love watching the way they play. I'd hate to be coach.
I can imagine, yeah, challenging. Afridi bowls, slap back past the bowler, up towards the fielder at long on. It's the busy Shadab Khan who picks up, and so it's 141 for 6. And in the sense that, if you say hold back, it doesn't seem to be in the...
It's on the vocab, that's for sure, yeah. Probably one thing worse than being the coach would be the next batsman in. You'd be up and down off your seat, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Probably better off sitting in the back of the room, not watching the game, and just telling your mates to call you when you're ready.
Yeah, you might be advised to, if you're sort of 2 or 3 further down the order, just have your pads nearby. It could it can go quite wild. Afridi bowls, and that's a mistimed pull into the leg side. Not into the leg side, as it turns out. It drops away as far as mid-off. It wasn't very well played from Gurbaz, who looks absolutely exhausted.
He's been action man out there since he's arrived. He's been running hard between the wickets, swinging hard with the bat, scoring runs. It's been a great little cameo from the young fella.
Nabi.
Well, he's young to me anyway.
Nabi's on 33. It's on the pads, blocked into the leg side. It's a quick delivery, and Hasan Ali will throw as close to being a run out as they set off for the second and decided against it, but I think Gurbaz is safely back. So 3 singles at the start of this over. I think given where they were at 76 for 6, they would have taken anything north of 130 probably.
Oh, amen, yeah. This is a total now that they'd be starting to feel right. We've got a real show here. Start well with the new ball. Set it up for our spinners to dictate through that middle period towards the end, and then hopefully finish it off. Mind you, Pakistan are a pretty good batting side as well.
Yeah, well, that game against India, winning by 10 wickets. Afridi bowls, once again it's on the pads. There's the most optimistic LBW shot I have ever seen. That was never hitting a third set down the leg side.
Absolutely love it. There's no care and attention to the laws of the game. It's just hit on the pad that's got to be out. So it's brilliant to watch.
That was magnificent enthusiasm, if nothing else. It is.
Well, for those of you listening, it would have pitched probably 1.5 feet, 2 foot outside leg stump to a right-hander.
It was,
and not even hitting the stumps.
No. Afridi in then. And that's a good ball. It's drilled back past him, but it won't be a boundary. They'll probably get 2 of their quick. Oh dear, mix-up. Should be a run out. They've missed the first one, and sure, no, they're going to get home. And Afridi, well, he just stood halfway down the track watching it, made no attempt to get to the stumps, and as the throw came in, despite standing next to the batter that was potentially about to be run out.
I think if we watch it, though, I think he thinks the throw is going to hit the stumps.
Let's have a look.
He just lets it go to... He thought it was going to hit.
It wasn't that close, though, from Babar.
No, it's bad judgment. I'm not saying it was good judgment.
Right then, 145 for 6. Final ball of the innings. What can Gurbaz do? It's been good this, just 5 coming from the over so far. Shaheen Shah Afridi, not only is he a wicket threat early in the innings, but Pakistan turned to him at the back end as well to see things through. Afridi, and then final ball of the innings. Oh, filthy full toss, and I wonder if that might be a no ball. It is. It's going to be a free hit. Joel Wilson puts that right arm out. It was a pretty loose delivery. It was above waist height according to the square leg umpire, and it is a free hit.
I wonder if they can review this. I'm not sure it was above waist height. Well, Babar Azam's come running in from his fielding position's out on the boundary.
He's had a massive sense of humour failure, Babar. He's speaking to Joel Wilson and saying, well, come on, let's have another look at this. But I don't know, once the decision's been made, is that it? Let's have a look. Side on ankle, and yeah, it's above waist height.
Fair enough.
And Gorbaldin's not a tall individual, and he is slightly crouched, but
that's still a good 6 inches above the waistline.
Yeah.
And just looking at it, from first sight, I thought, okay, that's a bit close, but good call from the umpire in there.
Pakistan have had 6 free hits against them in the Super 12 stage and conceded just 3 runs from them, which is pretty good going. Here comes Afridi then, trying again for the final ball of the innings. It's a free hit for Gorbaldin, and it's worked into the leg side. There's a fielder there waiting, and so Rauf will pick up. There is just 1 run taken. So 147 for 6 is the score. 20 overs. What do we make of that, Stuart?
Well, as we've been saying, from where they were at the 10 over mark, I think they'd be very, very happy with 147 for 6. As I say, that gives them an opportunity. They bowl well with the new ball, take a wicket or 2, put the middle order under pressure with their spin. Afghanistan in with a chance. Pakistan, once again, the bowlers have been exciting to watch. Their batters will now come out and they'll look forward to batting on this pitch. It looks like a really good wicket coming onto the bat. So be able to play your shots. And they bat really deep, so we're in for a good contest.
Who'll be the happier here, Liam Plunkett?
I think Pakistan will be happy chasing that, but also they've got runs on the board, and they've got some really good bowlers, 2 of the best in the world. So, I mean, a tight start and a couple of wickets like Stewie said, and then the spinners do their work. It could be close, but I think I'm backing Pakistan. They've got a class batting lineup.
Is there a more entertaining team in world cricket than Afghanistan?
No, I love watching them. It's like they're not, obviously they're a lot better, but it's like watching clubbies who've just got let out for the day to play an international game. So it's I love watching it. They're passionate, like we said earlier, and they'll try and tee off, which is always fun to watch.
And we mean that in terms of the approach, because in terms of the power hitting, we saw some massive strokes in that.
No, not taken away from their cricket ability. They've got massive cricket ability, but just the carefree abandon they go about playing their game is very refreshing. I love watching it as well, Liam. I really do. I've seen them play close up, and they're devastating when they're very good, and when they get it right, my word, there's not a better team I reckon to watch.
And they can score, as you said. They're talented. They can take you down. We've seen that against Scotland. So I think back in the day, a few years back, as a bowling outfit, if you come across them, there's a good chance you can intimidate them and bowl them out. Whereas now they're happy to face you. They're happy to take any one of you down. So it's they can do damage now.
Here comes Imad Wasim with Mark Nicholas.
Yes, it's fantastic. I think both the teams, the supporters are here, so it's fantastic to be in here.
And a very frantic start, particularly when you guys were bowling in the power play. Wickets falling, runs coming. You've got a bit of a hold on the game, but a great fight back there by Afghanistan.
Yes, obviously it happens in cricket. I think they played really well at the end. 70-something for 6. They scored 148, which is a very good score here. But I'm very hopeful that we're going to chase it down.
What do you make of that pitch, Imad?
Just stopping a bit early on, but now it's coming on to the bat nicely, because when I was bowling in the middle overs, it was stopping. But now even the fast bowlers, they were bowling slow balls, but it's coming on to the bat very nicely now.
So is it possible that there doesn't seem to be any dew on the outfield? Any film of dew on the pitch?
Look, usually in Dubai, when the dew comes in, it plays nicely onto the bat. So I'm hopeful the dew comes in.
Okay. You're comfortable with this chase, are you? You can win this game, okay?
Yes, I think 148 is a decent score, but having said that, they've got world-class bowlers, but we've got very good world-class batsmen as well, so it's a good competition.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Big smile on the face of Imad Wasim, and why not? He bowled really nicely. He got 4 overs, 2 for 25. Other wicket takers, 1 apiece for Shaheen Shah. Afridi, he was the most economical. 4 overs, 1 for 22. And Haris Rauf, Hasan Ali and Shadab Khan each picked up a wicket as well. So state of play is 148 as a target, and that is a target that looked unlikely for much of the innings. The way it all fell apart really early on, with Hazratullah Zazai making 0 and Mohammad Shahzad out for 8. Then we saw Asghar Afghan playing 1 lovely huge hit for 6, but was caught and bowled by Haris Rauf. Rahmanullah Gurbaz made 10 also, Karim Janat 15, and Najibullah Zadran 22. But then it was that partnership at the end. Both Nabi and Gulbuddin Naib 35 not out at the end, and both getting there at a strike rate over 100. It was the partnership they needed, the partnership they got, and it is potentially the partnership that keeps this game interesting.
Yeah, it does. It's obviously that's what you want to see. It's a good partnership. They give themselves a bit of time to get in, and then they teed off towards the back end. As Stewie said, you watch from afar now, as I'm doing, and you think, why don't they just bowl the best ball? And I felt like they went away from their strengths, which they're normally so good at. These guys at the back end, like Afridi did his last over, he didn't really miss the hole apart from the no ball. He didn't give the bat as much to hit, whereas the 2 previous overs, it's a bit unlike them. They went against what they normally do. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe they thought it was going to grip, or it started to skid on and it was easy to hit. But yeah, you're backing yourself to bowl your best ball, but easy said than done.
That's it, isn't it? And there is pressure in the sense, not necessarily because of the jeopardy for Pakistan in the group, because of how well they've done in their first couple of matches, Stuart, but it's the environment, the noise, the passion of the supporters as well. It was quite an intense innings in many ways.
Yeah, it was, and that support would be favouring Pakistan, I would think. And when they start getting up in the next phase, the next innings, with Pakistan at the crease, every run that's scored, that'll get louder and louder and louder, and that'll give the Pakistan batsmen, great support, great belief and great confidence. Whereas, Afghanistan, as I keep saying, if they get 1 or 2 wickets up front with a new ball, control that run rate, bowl as many dot balls as they can, bring the spinners back into the play after that power play, and then that's when they can really go to town.
Well, we will, of course, bring you the second innings of this game in about 5 minutes from now. But tomorrow we've got a blockbuster day here on 5 Live Sports Extra, and it would be remiss of me not to speak to you as a former Australian international, and you, Liam, as a former England international, about what we've got to look forward to tomorrow. First up, it's South Africa, Sri Lanka, and then England, Australia tomorrow afternoon. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that, and the way the 2 teams have gone, they've been looking good. I mean, it's a huge game.
Yeah, it is, both in decent form. Australia, obviously, in some of the warm-ups struggled a bit, didn't they? Didn't get going, but they've come good now and won 2 from 2. Same with England, 2 from 2, so it's always good to play against a good, strong team early on. You get momentum if you beat someone like Australia. It gives you extra confidence, and yeah, keep going on your merry way and hopefully keep ticking off the wins.
Australia media can be quite a fickle thing, but what's the current feeling about the sort of expectations of, you said to us yesterday that every tournament they expect to win, but from what the side has done so far, how do you think this is being received down under?
Oh, look, I think this isn't an excuse. Believe me, I'm not an Aussie whinger, like people call me. They haven't played a lot of cricket. COVID really hit. The start of the domestic season back home was put on hold. New South Wales and Victoria now playing a 3-match series, Sheffield Shield, and because of COVID, and I think one-day cricket as well, they're not allowed to play anyone else. So there was big restrictions. Players went to the IPL. David Warner didn't face a ball after 2 games, I think, if that. So they haven't had the cricket and the cricket in competition that they really wanted. So Liam mentioned before, the warm-up games was probably their first proper hit out in a competitive environment. And since that, they've got better and better. So the first game was really scrappy against South Africa. And let's face it, it was horrible to watch for an Australian supporter. But then they managed to get over the line the right side. And last night it was just different beast. They obviously get back into it. It doesn't take long for the good players to find their touch. They did it against Sri Lanka last night on a good pitch. So tomorrow night, I think the Aussies will be confident going into the game. Not confident if they're going to wipe the floor with England, because that's not going to happen. But confident going in. They're the underdogs. England are one of the best in the world at this format. Australia go in pretty pretty smug and look forward to the fight.
How does it sit with England being favourites or one of the favourites for this tournament, do you think?
I think it doesn't. I'm not sure they'll feel any way about it. I think they're confident, they're not arrogant about when they're successful and when they're doing well. They're just trying to win every game. I think the situation in the white ball for many years, we've never been the best in the world, and I think that's sort of the mentality. You're confident and you believe in your ability to win games, but also it's every game's a new game. You're playing against good people, good competition, so it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Afghanistan, Scotland, Australia. I think they approach each game the same.
And Owen Morgan is a pretty good bloke to have leading you in that scenario, isn't he? He's been there, he's done it, he's captain side, he got KKR to the final of the IPL. So there are, if anyone's there to keep the feet on the ground, he's a pretty good person to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Morg's obviously one of the best captains I've played under. Very level-headed, never gets too up, never gets too down, and great to have around in big competitions like this.
Yeah, and it is a big competition and a tournament that England looking to. It seemed fairly implausible not so long ago to think of England as double world champions at the same time, but Liam, thanks to your side in 2019 and the team that we see in the UAE right now, the way they've played so far, those questions are starting to be asked. It's an exciting thought.
Yeah, why not? Why not with that talent? And it is quite nice. It's some new faces in from that last World Cup. You want the guys to do well, and people have come in and done well, like Mills and other guys. So yeah, good luck to them, and I hope to go all the way and win.
Yep, we'll wait and see. We'll bring it all to you on 5 Live Sports Extra, and also look out for the Good Pace for Radio podcast featuring Tamal Mills and Mark Wood from inside the England camp in the UAE. You can find that on the Test Match Special podcast stream on BBC Sounds. Right, the players are out in the middle. 148 is the target, and here's Simon Mann.
Pakistan scored 152 to beat India in their opening match, so they'll be pretty confident of winning for the third time. But Afghanistan have given themselves a chance, and they've given Pakistan something to think about with that stand of 71 in 7 overs between Nabi and Gulbuddin. So it's more of a challenge for Pakistan than they might well have imagined. They have got those 2 quality spinners, and it is going to be Majib Rahman who is going to open the bowling. So they're going to start with Majib, and here he is to bowl to Rizwan, and Rizwan tucked up by that first delivery, plays it uppishly into the onside towards mid-wicket, and there's no run. I mean, Pakistan used to pressure situations. I mean, they took down India the other day, and there's no more high-pressure match in world cricket than that. But up against Afghanistan side today, who are battling for their own success in this tournament. First run of the innings, Rizwan turns it away into the onside. Majib bowling right arm over the wicket to the right-hander. He played that through straight mid-on for a single. So Pakistan underway. I wonder if we're going to see the same sort of frenetic start to the Pakistan innings we saw to the Afghanistan innings. They were 39 for 4. 49 for 4 at the end of the power play, but they lost their 4th wicket on 30, and lots of shots played, lots of catches taken. Babar Azam, who's such a high quality player, he's a beautiful player to watch. Majib bowling with a slip in, bowls to Babar, who stands up and punches it away towards mid-off. Straight to Nabi, who hurls the ball in, and a leaping Shahzad has to try to take it.
Not sure leaping's the right word, but he did try and jump and get it.
Yeah, he's not the most athletic, Mohammad Shahzad.
It's actually fascinating this, because
here's Majid to bowl to Babar. Shot outside the off stump, dragged into the onside, out towards wide long on. Picks out the fielder, and there is one more run to the total.
it's obviously 2 of the best spinners in the world, and I feel like Pakistanis are the best at playing spin in the world. So it's obviously a great contest, 2 good batsmen and some very good spinners.
It's Majib, bowls to Rizwan, and Rizwan gets a ball on just outside the off stump, which he forces back to the bowler. There might have been a bit of a leading edge in that, playing into the onside, or trying to. Yeah, there was he played that with the outside of the bat. 2 for no wicket in this first over. Majib moves in, bowls on the pads of Rizwan. He clips it wide of mid-wicket. Sharp stumps the non-striker's end was never going to be effective because Rizwan's quick between the wickets, and they are through for the run. So 3 off the first over, bowled by Majib. But I suppose one of the key things here is that they do have those sort of 2 gun spinners. Pakistan will be aware of that, so What are they going to do against the others, and how are they going to play them? Are they just going to look to be relatively conservative against them? You see some teams just play off Rashid Khan in T20 cricket and say, we'll get them at the other end.
They might do that with both the spinners, maybe look 5, 6 and over, because you're still in a decent position, and then take down the other bowlers. But these are such high quality batsmen. If the ball's there to hit, they're going to hit it no matter who's bowling. And they might try and take down one of these bowlers, but I doubt it. So knock the ball around, hit the gaps, run good twos, and put away the bad ball.
And it's going to be spin from both ends. And we talk about Najib, we talk about Rashid Khan, but Mohammad Nabi is a very experienced operator in T20 cricket as well, and he's going to open the bowling at the other end.
I think you often forget about Nabi because of the other two, but he is one of the best T20 cricketers, isn't he? He's done really well, lots of franchise cricket, very experienced, and he's a good bowler. Good economy rate, so he's always good to watch. And
he is one of the reasons why Afghanistan have a score to defend. That partnership with Gulbadin, both of them making 35 not out. They were going nowhere really at 76 for 6, and we thought they might fold for 90, 100, something like that, but not a bit of it. And what a scalp! If they could get up and beat Pakistan here, what a lift that would give them. Anyway, long way to go before that happens. Rizwan nudges Nabi's first ball into the leg side. And there's one more run to the total. 4 for no wicket. Rizwan 3, Babar on 1. It's really high quality opening partnership for Pakistan. Rizwan has proved his worth in the last year or two at the top of the order, and we know about Babar. Nabi, right arm round the wicket to the right-hander. Babar plays that towards short mid-wicket, shot the stumps at the non-striker's end. Well, that was a tight run. It was Gurbaz, Rahmanullah Gurbaz, who was disappointed to have missed the stumps there. I think we would have been upstairs for that one if that had hit. We're going to see the replay now. Okay, it's a what if. It didn't hit, but it was a risky one.
He's the first quick single of the day we've seen, I think.
Let's have a look. Oh, I think he was out, I think he was just short if that had hit.
You reckon just short?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was a fraction short.
Would have been a huge wicket for Afghanistan.
Nabi bowls to Rizwan. Rizwan dabs it away. There's a misfield at backward point. They're going to get a single. Well, that was sloppy fielding there by Karim Janat. It went through his hands. He really should have stopped that, and they wouldn't have got a run. 6 for no wicket. Midway through the second over, I should say. 1.3 overs bowled. Nabi with his off breaks moves into bowl to Babar, and Babar flicks that away towards short fine leg, just to the left of short fine, so they're able to go through for a single. 7 for no wicket. Asghar Afghan had a bit of ground to make, not much. They just said, oh, we'll have one to him. Rizwan 4, Babar 3. Crowd quiet at the moment, waiting for Afghanistan to take a wicket or Pakistan to explode with the bat. Here is Nabi bowling to Rizwan, who checks the shot. For a moment there, he just looked to who's going to try and smash that, and then checked the shot, played it back to the bowler, and there was no run. Hit quite high up on the bat. 7 for no wicket. Last ball of the over. Nabi bowls, and a big sweep from Rizwan, and he's got that away for 4. One bounce out towards deep back with square leg, and now we hear the crowd. Pakistan 11 for no wicket after 2 overs. First boundary of the innings at the end of the second over. Rizwan 8 and Babar there on 3.
Rizwan's in some good form. It's obviously good to take pressure off and get the boundaries going. These can let you bowl to him too much. They want to take up too many dot balls before trying to hit a good shot, a good strong shot, and to get the runs on the board.
Yeah, Rizwan so far 79 not out against India and 33 in the match against New Zealand. They were put under pressure by New Zealand, and at one stage in the game they were 87 for 5, 69 for 4, and they needed that innings from Asif Ali, who came and hit 27 or 12 balls to take them home at 3 sixes to win the game. There was some pressure at times in that game. They're hoping it won't happen today. Majid bowls his second over to Babar. Babar forces towards mid-off. Nabi's there, hurls the ball at the stumps and non-strikers end. They're home comfortably for a single. 12 for no wicket.
I think against obviously great bowlers like this, it's so important to do that, to run them quick singles and just keep easing the pressure off. So if you do get a boundary away, instead of going for 4 and over, you're going for 7 or 8. So it's obviously great running and keep changing the pressure.
Mujib to Rizwan. Rizwan tries to make some room for a strong shot there. It's quite full. He digs it out, goes up towards mid-off, and there's no run. Picked up by Nabi. 12 for no wicket. 148 Pakistan to win. Mujib bowls, swung away by Rizwan. Out towards deep back with square leg. He's caught. He's caught on the deep back with square leg boundary. That's the wicket Afghanistan were looking for early on. They've got rid of Mohammad Rizwan, who hit it pretty well. If the fielder hadn't have been there, it would have gone for 6. But he was there. And Mujib has got his wicket. And Rizwan is on his way. It's 12 for 1. Rizwan out for 8.
So it's a massive wicket. I've seen the power play to get one of these two players out. Both big players scoring runs in good form. It's a huge blow for Pakistan, and obviously great news for Afghanistan. Hopefully to put more pressure on in this 6 overs and pick up another 1 or 2 and yeah, make it a good game for us. The
joy on the faces of the Pakistan, of the Afghanistan fielders and the Afghanistan supporters is something to behold. It was Naveen-ul-Haq who took the catch on the deep back of square leg boundary. He's not been in the game so far. It might well have been the first time he's been involved, and he picked out a fine catch. We saw one earlier from Jason Holder right on the rope. It was a bit easier than that. It wasn't easy. Jason Holder's was a superb catch, high up, took it no trouble at all, like he was just taking an apple off a tree. But Naveen-ul-Haq, he knew the pressure was on him there, and he looked back at the rope to see where his feet were, and his feet were just inside, and absolutely delighted to take the catch. And Mujib as well, the way he celebrated, he knew how important that was.
It is a great catch. Playing here in Dubai, the way the floodlights are set up in the full around the stadium, sometimes that gets bright in your eye and it's tricky to pick up the ball, so he did well to keep his nerve there and pouch that catch and take that first wicket.
12 for 1, Fakhar Zaman. Here's the new batter. Left-hander, of course. Another who likes to play his shots. Mujib goes in to bowl to him, and Fakhar plays across his pads there into the onside. It's a straight ball. Picked up at mid-wicket, and there is no run. Well, if they could get rid of Babar as well early on, then we might well be game on. We've already seen one really tight game today, riveting games in West Indies and Bangladesh. Mujib bowls, turned away through square leg by Fakhar, and he gets a single and he's off the mark. Mujib walking away with his hands on his head there as if he thought, well, I nearly got through onto the pads of Fakhar.
Yeah, he snuck through, yeah. It's a good start from Afghanistan here. They could pick up another one here. It'd be pressure on Pakistan, especially when the tip to win this game, a few early wickets.
13 for 1, last ball of the third. Babar plays through mid-wicket. Should get 2 here. Naveen is after it from deep square leg, sends in the return. And they do come back for 2. So 15 for 1 after 3 overs of Pakistan's reply. And if they were to win today, Afghanistan, then we'd have to take Murali's comment about Afghanistan and the new Sri Lanka seriously. We thought that, we were talking about this earlier, that Afghanistan probably just a bit behind where Sri Lanka were in the mid-90s because of their structure, really, their relative lack of cricket structure. Whereas Sri Lanka, strong club cricket culture and some really top-class players as well. If you look through that Sri Lanka side that won the World Cup in 1996, but Afghanistan emerging. But they do have the problem of where they play and also the political situation in their country. 15 for 1 after 3 overs. Fakhar 1 and Babar on 6. Fakhar Zaman's going to take strike. Mohammad Nabi's going to bowl another over. It's been spin all the way so far. And here is Nabi bowling to Fakhar, who clips that through mid-wicket for a single.
It's how many overs do you use of these two guys before you bring in someone else? Obviously you've got Rashid Khan, but obviously you've got the other bowlers who you need to introduce at some point. Maybe the couple overs at the back end of the power play, or maybe use these guys in the middle along with Rashid Khan.
Just seeing conclusive evidence that Babar would have been run out if that throw had hit from Rahmanullah. It was only a small
fraction
short of the line, but he would have been out. Here's Nabi over the wicket to bowl to Babar, who clips towards mid-wicket, half stop to mid-wicket, parried really out towards the boundary. Two fielders converge. Throw comes in, and Babar is limited to a single. Takes him to 7. 7 from 7 for him. 17 for 1, Pakistan in the fourth. 148 to win. After that sensational partnership, really, between Gulbuddin and Nabi. 71 in 7 overs. 76 for 6 after 13. Nabi to bowl to Fakhar, who owns the face, offers the single to Babar. Babar says yes as it goes away backward square on the offside. Throw comes into Shahzad, but they pinched one there. 18 for 1.
A few nervous faces in the Pakistan dressing room there. I think they know it's not an easy ask against this side. They've got better and better over the last few years, and they play a lot of cricket against the emerging teams and also now internationally, and obviously the skills are right up there with other countries.
Nabi to Babar. Babar stands up and punches into a gap on the offside, or small gap on the offside, gets a single. It's half stopped on the edge of the circle. I suppose India was, it's not quite nothing to lose because it's India, but in a way the pressure's more on India in a game like that because they're sort of expected to win. You know, the history of winning World Cups against Pakistan was, of course, here Pakistan are expected to win.
Yeah.
And everyone's tipping them now, the favourites of the tournament. It's just a different psychology to the game. Nabi bowls, dragged away by Fakhar, over mid-wicket. That was nearly a catch to mid-wicket. Instead he gets 4.
And you know how much enjoyment Afghanistan will get from beating Pakistan and how big that would be. You know that this could be their World Cup final here against Pakistan. I don't think Pakistan would be looking too far ahead, but it's a challenge. So they know when to come and play against Afghanistan now. It's a tough game.
The one thing you would say is that actually Pakistan could lose this game and still qualify comfortably because they beat India and New Zealand, and they've still got Scotland and Namibia to play. Now he bowls to Fakhar, who goes big, and he's nailed that one.
Good cricket shots now, both very good cricketers.
Yes, he did catch it, a man in a Pakistan jersey. It was away to his right as well. It wasn't the easiest catch with his mates around him in that executive box. Very good catch. And not only do we get to see it twice, we also get to focus on him as well. Here is Majid bowling his 3rd over to Babar. Played away to mid-wicket and there's no run. Yeah, we all get to see him. Now I think he's on his phone. He's texting his mate. Did you see that, everybody? Did you see all his mates? Or his family, whatever. 29 for 1 is the score. Start of the 4th over. Majid in, bowls to Babar. Babar goes back and punches this out towards wide mid-off. Goes through for a single. Nabi's after it, away to his left-hand side. Babar to 9. 30 for 1 is the score. Put the distance on that Fakhar 6, it was 86 metres, so not the biggest 6 we've seen in this T20 World Cup. Scotland hit some big 6s in one of their qualifying games, 100-metre 6s in Oman. Richie Berrington, well, that was a big one from Fakhar. Here's Majid bowling to him, turns it off his pads there, to the left of mid-wicket. They're off for 1, they settle for 1 as well. Throw comes in to Shahzad. 31 for 1 in the 5th over.
They do get through the overs quickly, I know that. This power play's flown by.
Yeah, it's not something we've said very much in this T20 World Cup. The over rates get slower and slower, it seems. Here's Majid bowling to Babar. Babar cuts, hits it straight at point. Rashid Khan there. Sends in the return. Back pedalling, picked it up, sent in the return. No run. Good shot from Babar, but he picked out the man, so there was no run. 31 for 1. 5th over. 2 balls left in it. Majid in his 3rd over. 1 for 9 so far. Bowling with a slip in to Babar. Babar slaps it into the onside off the back foot and picks out the catcher of Rizwan. That is Naveen-ul-Haq, and there is no run. So it's 2 he's hit quite firmly, but straight to fielders. So he's having a frustrating time of it so far. Pakistan's captain, and if they could get him, that would be such a lift. Majid bowls to Babar. Babar drives firmly back, stopped by the bowler, parried by him, picks it up, no run, end of the over. And Majid's gone for 2 in that over. He's bowled 3 overs, taken 1 for 9. What does he do now? Does he bowl another one or does he hold him back? 31 for 1 after 5 overs. Fakhar has 14, Babar has 9.
I think, I'm not sure. Maybe you would hold him back to get someone else into the game, and then you've got him in up your sleeve. But maybe they'll go through with him because you have got Rashid Khan to come on ball as well. So it's a great start. I think Afghanistan will be very happy with them. Got a big wicket. They kept them to 31 off 5.
Right, we are going to see our first change of bowling. Naveen-ul-Haq is going to come into the attack. The man who took the catch to get rid of Rizwan. I think the quick over rate has taken Henry Moran by surprise, because he's supposed to be replacing me after 5 overs. He only left the microphone about 7 minutes ago, but they're so quickly through their overs.
He's too busy eating his cookie, that's what he's doing.
Right, he's gonna come in, and Naveen is going to bowl. And well, the game is interestingly placed at the moment. 117 to win from 90 balls. I'll just do this one ball, Henry. Here's Naveen going into bowl to Fakhar. It's full, it's clipped away to mid-wicket, and there's no run. A shot at the stumps and on-striker's end. Misses. The batter there, Babar just straying out of his ground for a moment. It was backed up, and the upshot of all that action was a dot ball. Henry, all yours.
I was ready, Simon. Thank you very much. 31 for 1 in the 6th over. Naveen-ul-Haq is bowling, and he's turning at the end of his mark, and saying just his 10th T20 international begins this bustling approach to the left-handed Fakhar Zaman, who's on strike and waiting for a slower ball that's nudged towards backward point. Throw comes in, a diving throw which misses the stumps from Gulbuddin, and there is no run. 32 for 1. I saw Felix White of music and tail enders fame tweeting earlier on today, can we not just have Afghanistan, Pakistan every single day? It's been fun, this game. It's been one of those that's just been all action, energy. There's quite a lot going on with this delivery. He bowls off the wrong foot. Yeah.
He bowls it nicely. It looks like he's got some good skills. Obviously by his stats as well, he started nicely in his first 10 games.
Looks like there's a little shift in the field. Yeah, we're going to see a deep middle wicket, or a deep square leg really, and a long on for Babar, who waits now, whacks the ball into the leg side. There's a fielder waiting for exactly that shot, and Rashid Khan, who is one of the world's best in the deep. He scoots around, and because he's so enthusiastic and energetic, he gets to delivery and shots that nobody else would, because he just runs around absolutely wholeheartedly.
Yeah, he throws himself at it. I think you can tell by it, he loves his fielding. He's always there where the action is, and that's what you want in a cricketer. Like Ben Stokes for England, they want to be where the action is, so it's great to have them in your team.
He's such a live. I've been disappointed we've not seen him bat more in this tournament. I know it's only Afghanistan's second game, but always such an exciting player. Naveen is in. This is worked away behind square on the leg side for 4.
It's a lovely a little gimme for the batsman. Most good players are just going to tuck that away without much effort, so it's a nice little freebie there for Zaman.
Yeah, just flick round the corner. It was as easy as you like, really. 111 needed from 86. And Fakhar Zaman, who memorably scored 100 in the Champions Trophy final in England in 2017. He's a good player. He's not a bad person to have coming in at 3.
Yeah, he hits the ball really nicely. I've played against him a few times, and he's been successful on many occasions, and he is pretty hard to bowl at when he gets going.
It's a Pakistan team, and it's sort of quite a tired cliche, the sort of unpredictable Pakistan side. I mean, they've been predictably brilliant in this tournament so far. Zaman is on strike. In comes Naveen, bowls, and played into the ground, and wondering for a moment where it's gone is Zaman. It's collected by the bowler, who then...
I think when you look at this squad now, I've not tracked all the results of Pakistan, but they look consistent now. Even before this, it looks like they've got a group of players together now who are consistent. So that's very dangerous. One of the best teams in the world, when they turn up and play, and if they're doing that consistently, then that's how they get up them rankings and win trophies and be the best in the world.
That game, I remember at Cardiff, that semi-final of that Champions Trophy that Pakistan won, it just all clicked for them and nothing really went right for England that day, and it was some performance against India in that final. You know, on their day, Pakistan is such a good team, and it looks like those days are becoming, more and more consistent.
More consistent, yeah. They're a very good team.
Zaman is on strike. Naveen's final ball of his first over, 6 from it so far. It's pushed into the offside. Again, a quick single taken, and there might be an extra run here. No, because running in from the boundary edge.
I think with Pakistan, when I was playing for England, you feel like if you make some early indents, you feel like you can get on top of them. And I think that's where we sort of used our advantage, because we lost a few early wickets and stuff. We keep going, and we felt with them, if you get on top of them, you can beat them. But obviously with the experience and the players now, the youth coming through, have played in all these franchises and got more experience, they're probably a lot better than that now as well.
How much do you sort of put down to franchise cricket for the development of players?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's helped England so much when the guys are allowed to go play in the IPL and they learn to play against spinners on different wickets, turning wickets, slow wickets, and it helps because when the World Cup's in Dubai or in India, you've played in them conditions against most of the best players in the world, so it's definitely helped, and it's only going to help people's skills as a bowler and a batsman.
You see, you do, of course, Mujib has played in the T20 Blast, but it's very different facing Mujib on a decent batting track at Trent Bridge than it is to facing him in Sharjah, say.
Yeah, it's absolutely, but they're all good bowlers and they're going to have the days. With all the good spinners and good bowlers, even if it's a flat pitch, they don't seem to travel too much, and then they take advantage of the wickets that they do well on.
Mujib then, final over for him, and Zaman runs the ball behind square into the offside. It's collected by Asghar Afghan. Equation for victory is 109 from 83 balls.
It looks like they're fairly calm, the Pakistani guys here. They're just knocking it around. They're going to see Mujib off. And yeah, just take advantage of the bad ball. And as I said, the set, and they're just taking it fairly cruise control at the minute. So it's probably vital that they get one of these guys out early.
Shahzad directing traffic behind the stumps. It's a full toss. You don't get many of those from Mujib. Slapped as far as extra cover, and Hazrat stumbles down and collects.
Got away with that. He doesn't often bowl many pies, but that was definitely a pie that should have been put away, so he got away with that for sure.
Mujib bowls, it's worked into the leg side, and he sprints after it, and actually rather sort of pulls up in his pursuit. I think he's okay, but he left it eventually for the fielder at deep mid-wicket. And so far, just the one wicket has fallen. It is quite a significant one in Rizwan, so you will feel that they're in this game, Afghanistan. That partnership worth over 50 runs at the back end of the innings. It's done so much to help them in this game. Those runs put on by Nabi and Gulbuddin. 147 for 6 the score. And so Pakistan in pursuit need 108 now from 81 balls. They're 40 for 1 midway through the 7th over. We've got Zaman and Babar Azam in the middle. And it's the left-handed Fakhar Zaman on strike as Mujib is in. Just waiting on it and just jabbing the ball into space on the leg side. It's really well played because it's in enough space to allow them through for 2. Rashid Khan slides and then throws the ball behind him to get the ball retrieved, but that's really clever batting. 42 for 1.
I'd be surprised if Mujib goes off after this. He looks like he's struggling with something he's just done the last ball when he chased that single down.
He's got 2 balls left of his 4 overs, and it's in now, and there's excitement from Shahzad behind the stumps. And such excitement, actually, I'm not sure he remembered that the ball was still live and he might be required to chase it, but no interest from umpire Paul Wilson in the LBW shot. I think that was probably off a bit of bat. It drops down towards short fine leg, very fine, and they'll get through for 1 something. 42 for 1 is the score. In fact, have they got through for 2 there, possibly? We'll see the replay. Yeah, a bit of glove.
Bit harsh on the keeper there, I think, weren't we? Pretty
Around the corner and off the pads for a leg bye. 7 overs gone, 44 for 1. Yeah, so I don't mean in the sense that he could have taken the catch. That would have been going some. He's the most enthusiastic keeper in the tournament, which I think is saying something. Shahzad.
He's definitely enjoyable to watch.
He is, sure is. Liam, thank you very much for the time being. And Pakistan 44 for 1. They need another 104 from 78 deliveries, which you would have thought will be pretty doable. They're in decent fettle, just a 1 wicket down, and they've been a side that has been hugely impressive in the tournament so far, with wins against India and New Zealand. There is a conversation taking place in the middle involving Mujib, as Stuart Law, former Australia international and West Indies and Bangladesh coach, is back alongside me. Mujib doesn't look in the finest health and happiness. He's striding off the field. Well, I say striding, hobbling off the field with the Afghanistan physio.
It's a shame for Mujib. Liam picked it up before, just a couple of balls into that last over. He chased the ball out to mid-wicket, looked like he tweaked his groin. So he's doing the right thing. Instead of getting it, damaging it further, he's going to get off and let the physio have a look, and hopefully he'll be right for his next game.
Yeah, he's such an important player for Afghanistan. He's bowled his overs, which I suppose is, if you're going to pick up something, do it in your final over.
Well, exactly. He may have picked it up a bit early and just aggravated it on that run. So, probably smart play while he's warm, get him through finish his spell. They still got Rashid Khan to come into the attack, so they're not going to miss out on a quality spinner towards the end of the innings. It's a shame that he's had to go off, because I reckon if they had wicket hovers up his sleeve for when Pakistan needed to start going hard, well, that's when you think, that's when he comes into his own.
But he's bowled out. We're going to see Karim Janat, right arm medium pacer, right arm over. This is back of a length. It goes into the offside. Very much on the bounce, and it's stopped by Hazratullah Zazai in the wide-brimmed red hat. 44 for 1, no run there.
Yeah, they do. They get into the game, the crowd. Every time the ball's in the air, whether it's on the bounce or high in the sky, they're off their seats and cheering their team home, doing everything they can to get the boys another wicket.
Karim Janat is the ball in hand again. It's bowling to Pakistan skipper Babar Azam, who's on 11 from 18. He goes into the leg side, plays that firmly, but there is protection out there in the deep, running around from long on. The ball is picked up by Najibullah, and there is no boundary, but a couple of runs taken. Janat is actually brothers with Asghar Afghan. You'd never guess it from the names, but they are siblings, both part of this Afghanistan side. Pakistan 46 for 1. The fielding restrictions have relented over the last over and a bit after the end of the power play. In comes Janat. This is whacked away from Babar Azam's bat out to deep cover. It's stopped in the deep by Naveen-ul-Haq. One more run taken. Pakistan will feel in control here at 102 runs needed from 76.
Yeah, you can see now that medium pace on, batsmen look a bit more comfortable. Babar Azam just a bit more free-flowing. Against the spin was difficult, couldn't quite get the ball away.
Speaking of the older brother relationship, Asghar Afghan has just run up and given a rather friendly, brotherly pat on the backside to offer some encouragement to Karim Janat.
Was another jab to the chin, was it?
It wasn't, no. Well, that was bizarre earlier on. There's a celebration. Here comes Janat. It's played into the leg side this time from the bat of Fakhar Zaman out to deep mid-wicket. Again, Naveen is busy out there running in. 48 for 1. Exactly 100 needed now from 74 balls. If you missed it earlier, there was a boundary struck, and the response was not to punch gloves, but to just whack him straight in the grill.
It's hilarious. Just a nice little brush on the grill, but probably a bit more than a brush. Probably hit him quite solidly.
Karim's in. Back of a length and loopy delivery, which is played with one hand by Babar Azam out square on the leg side as far as Rashid Khan. And when he throws it, he sort of hops before throwing it in, Rashid Khan. It's a very distinctive vision out there on the outfield. Win predictor has actually this game closer than perhaps I thought that would. 66% Pakistan.
Yeah, the thing that's hurting Afghanistan is that only 1 wicket down at the moment. They could put another 1 or 2 on that board. It just send a few frighteners through the Pakistan batters waiting to come in.
Zaman on strike. 5 from the over so far as Karim comes round the wicket and gets Zaman in a bit of a tangle, follows him rather. And that is a dot ball to finish the over, so 5 from it. That's not bad going at all. 49 for 1 after 8. Pakistan looking to make it 3 wins from 3. Tomorrow on 5 Live Sports Extra, we got a real treat for you. A double header, 2 big matches from this T20 World Cup. First up from 10:45 UK time, it is the game from Group 1 between Sri Lanka and South Africa. And then after that, another Group 1 fixture. England against Australia. Much to look forward to. Game gets underway at 3 p.m. So it may be in the night for our listeners on the ABC, but I think that might just be worth being awake for.
Yeah, I would think so. There'd be quite a few of the Aussies down under setting their alarm clocks to wake up to listen to that.
No better way to start the day than, a hefty Australian defeat.
No. We'll see.
49 for 1 is the score. 99 needed from 72 balls. We're going to see Naveen bowling once again.
I am lucky. I do hold 2 passports.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I had this from Chris Green earlier on in the year.
Has he got 2 or 3?
Because he might have a South African one as well.
Correct. Yeah,
I think
great man, Chris Green.
Lovely man.
Champion.
He was good fun on our coverage of the 100. Here comes Naveen again. And this is hit away, square on the offside. It's going to find the ropes. 1 bounce and 4. Babar Azam sees the width, flings the hands through the ball. And a little note in the diary for Matthew Hayden to say 50 up. That's a good shot.
No, just beautiful cricket shot as well. You can see the comfort restored in Babar Azam's game here against the medium pace, and he's just opened the face on a cover drive and hit that over backward point where both the fielders are up behind point on saving the 1. That's gone flying over them for 4 runs. Matthew Hayden, another tick in the box for him.
Yep.
Best batting coach in the world at the moment.
Here comes Naveen. It's on middle stump, works away. Such ease from the bat of Babar Azam. Up towards wide, long on, and his single is taken. 94 now needed from 70 balls. And it's interesting looking at that Pakistan dugout, because you've got Matthew Hayden, Vernon Philander. It's quite a sort of, and they've come in and got things going, and it's quite an unexpected duo, that, I think.
No, it is. And you can't put it all. They've only had limited time with the group, but just their presence. I know Matthew's got massive presence. And he talks, very positively about how to go about playing cricket, and just talking to him would probably give these guys the confidence to go out and play well.
Naveen again, 5 from the over so far. Zaman on strike, and he waits for a ball that just has the pace taken off it. It's played out towards Rashid Khan at deep mid-wicket. 1 more taken. There's just a little bit of a hush around the ground. 93 needed from 69 deliveries. Everything about the way that Mohammad Shahzad keeps is just full value. His shirt untucked. He stands there sort of.
I'm surprised he's got long sleeves.
I know. And that is always the sign, isn't it, of the sort of the village cricketer, isn't it? Short sleeves for the keeper.
Floppy hat.
Yeah. But he stands there and he talks and appeals. He's such an entertaining character to watch.
Brilliant character.
In comes Naveen. In once more. Right arm over. That's nicely played. Oh, what a good shot that is. Babar Azam just using the pace of the ball, helping it on its way down towards the deep 3rd boundary. There's no one there to stop it. And suddenly Pakistan are finding a little bit of rhythm here. 59 for 1. They need 89 from 68 balls.
He's a class act, Babar Azam. That is just a bit of width outside off stump, back of a length, and he just used the pace, let it run off the face of the bat, down through third slip, I'd say, with 3rd man up in the circle. Easy boundary. He's making it look easy now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's such a good player.
One thing Afghanistan need to do is stop these singles, these easy singles. That mid-wicket gap is wide open. Plug that up. Make him play a different shot.
Babar Azam, 24 and a run of ball. It's for Naveen-ul-Haq. It's getting a short ball, which is whacked into the ground, into the leg side. And there's a little bit of a fumble. That'll allow the 2nd run. When you say stop the singles, certainly stop the 2 from being taken if you can't stop the 1. 61 for 1 is the score.
Said he slipped. I don't think that's the case. He did on the... Didn't really matter. I don't think, even if he didn't slip, trying to regather the ball, they still would have made it easy to run to. So, no, Afghanistan can't afford any little mistakes like that. Every run is valuable. You know, they need to find dot balls. How can they do it? Rashid Khan, he hasn't bowled yet, so that's one way they can. When do they inject him? When do they get him into this attack? When do they put Pakistan under pressure again?
12. 61 for 1, more in a moment. 12 from the over thus far as Naveen is in, and that's played into the ground, into space in the offside, and that'll be a 13th run in this over. 9 gone, 62 for 1, and no sign of Rashid Khan bowling yet. It's a bit like, it's like that game PAKre, where you're sort of slightly nervous about when it's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? You're just waiting, knowing that there's this remarkable talent.
It's coming.
This extraordinary ability, and when's it going to happen? But he's got 4 overs to bowl, has yet to bowl any of them. We have seen Mujib bowled out. It was those two that did the damage against Scotland in that 130-run victory earlier on this week.
Yeah, different prospect, I think, this wicket. Is it the same wicket they used last night in the Australian game? Australia-Sri Lanka game. It looks pretty much like it is. And that was an absolute belter, so wasn't much spin. Adam Zampa did bowl well, but didn't turn it a great deal, turned it enough.
We're going to see Janat continuing. Thick stubble, and still we wait for Rashid Khan. The camera's trained on the leg spin superstar. 62 for 1 is the score. Janat is in to bowl to Babar Azam, who hits the ball firmly into the offside, only as far as the fielder waiting in the form of the captain Nabi. And the throw comes into Shahzad, who picks up. Nabi played brilliantly earlier on today with the bat, and he's been such a good cricketer for Afghanistan on their journey as they've risen up through the ranks of associate and now full-member cricket.
Yeah, he's been a part of it ever since their introduction into the world game, so he's been a massive part. He's been fantastic for them, great servant so far, and you know, his experience, as Liam said before, he's played a lot of franchise cricket around the world and done really well.
Janat round the wicket to bowl to Fakhar Zaman, looking for the big heave-ho into the leg side, and again a little fumble, this time from the fielder at short, fine leg. Gurbaz in, and they get through for a single to Pakistan. 64 for 1. This partnership's worth over 50, and they are at the moment looking pretty comfortable. This partnership is, as we saw in the first game that they played Pakistan in this tournament. On that occasion it was Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, but there just seems such control.
Yeah, there is.
This is short, hit away firmly into the leg side, out towards Khan at deep mid-wicket. And another run from the bat of Babar Azam.
I want to see Asif Ali. The way he came in the other night against New Zealand, an absolute thrashing machine, but hit the ball sweet, hit the ball clean, and when he commits to a shot, there's nothing left in the tank. He gives it absolutely everything, so bring him on.
83 needed from 63. We've got Janat ready to bowl once again. Before running into bowl, he holds the cricket ball as if it's the most precious thing in the world, looks down at it, makes sure his grip is absolutely right, and then begins the approach. Let's run away down towards short third, and once more what they do so well is Babar Azam is so quickly setting off from the non-striker's end, knows that the run's there, and ensures that the single can be taken. And it does much to ensure that even if the boundaries aren't coming, everything stays in check. There's no sense that desperation is coming at any stage for Pakistan. And as well, it shouldn't. It's not a huge target, this, but one that they would have been wary of. 66 for 1, 82 needed from 62. 4 singles in the over thus far. Carrying Janat in, driven away. That's a crisp-looking shot. Work for the fielder in the deep, and once again the hat goes flying, but a good throw in to prevent the boundary. 2 runs taken, and applause from Shahzad behind the stumps. He likes marshalling his troops. He stands there sort of like a general, pointing and gesticulating from behind the stumps. 68 for 1 is the score. He took a brilliant catch against Scotland as well.
It was, diving one hand.
It's amazing.
Full stretch, wasn't it?
It was like sort of someone shoving over a fridge with an arm outstretched. It was amazing.
It's one of those little bar fridges, though, isn't it?
Yeah. 68 for 1. Janat bowls. Oh, well played, Babar Azam. Just helping it on its way. Uppercut down to the deep third boundary. And 4 runs from the bat of Babar Azam. He is a high-quality cricketer and just joyous to watch. Pakistan flags are flying. 72 for 1 is the score. We're midway through this run chase, and it really has been a clinic from Babar Azam once again. And those that question whether he can be considered part of the big four alongside Kohli, Williamson, Smith and Root, well, I think you'd find not many people now arguing against his inclusion amongst the very, very best in the world.
The way he's looking tonight, so composed. He started slowly, but never looked in any trouble, and now he's just starting to push the accelerator. And he doesn't hit the ball hard. He times it beautifully. He doesn't lose shape when he's playing his shots. He stays in the ball, and he hits it just as hard as anyone with pure timing and pure cricket shots. No reason why you can't consider him in the top 4. Sure. Well, with those top 4.
Yeah, and I mean there are arguments actually whether that, considering the lack of runs relatively by his high standards, Virat Kohli is quite the player. But if he wins this tournament as he departs as T20 captain for India, well, I think his place as one of the absolute all-time Indian greats will be assured if it isn't already.
Oh, I think it is.
It is, but I had an interesting conversation. I can't remember. I think it might have been with Abhishek Janjanwala, a former IPL player who commentates with us, who was saying that so much is put upon those players that succeed in the international tournaments and lead to, Dhoni's performance in 2011 did so much to elevate him from a hugely high status just to beyond that. And there is always that slight limit if you haven't got that iconic photo almost with you holding the trophy and being there and leading.
Well, India have won the World Cup, 50 over World Cup twice. There's quite a few world-class players who haven't won the World Cup.
Well, indeed, and that, of course.
But I know what you're saying, and Dhoni in that 2011 World Cup, in that final, was just the difference between Sri Lanka winning and losing. He came out, so they weren't in real trouble, but they could have been if they had lost a couple of wickets, and he finished up 90-odd not out, and I remember him well, finishing it with a massive 6 over wide long on off Nuwan Kulasekara, unfortunately.
72 for 1 is the score.
Well, unfortunately for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I'm not sure the majority of the Wankhede Stadium would have shared those sentiments necessarily. 10 overs gone, 72 for 1 is the score. And speaking of India, look ahead to Sunday. If Pakistan win this game, the match between New Zealand and India is massive, because the loser of that game, unless something remarkable happens in another of the fixtures, to all intents and purposes, are going to be out of the tournament. So really big game to look forward to on Sunday. We'll have it for you here on 5 Live Sports Extra. Simon Mann is standing by as we see Rashid Khan toss the ball for the first time.
And he's still got 4 overs left. They've held him back. He's got 4 overs to bowl. So what, 11, 13, 15, 17? Doesn't have to be that, but that's what it could well be. And leave 2 for others. He might bowl right at the end. Anyway, he's the main man for Afghanistan. Can he make something happen? Bowls to Fakhar Zaman, who pushes forward, gets a thick inside edge towards short fine leg, and they get a single. And Rashid there, he felt he was very close to wicket first ball LBW against Fakhar Zaman. But Fakhar got some bat on it. Inside edge.
And lucky he did.
Ooh.
That was right in line.
Yeah, that was plumb, wasn't it? If he'd missed it. Another one of those ifs, though. He didn't, and he got a single. Fakhar goes to 29. This is going to be an interesting duel. Rashid Khan against Babar Azam. Pakistan is 73 for 1. We're just at the halfway stage, and they're almost halfway there. Rashid bowls, Babar drives, slicing drive, or missed field at backward point. And they go through for a single. So it wasn't too costly. I think they might have got a run in any case. Karim Janat diving away to his right, couldn't stop it. So 2 singles off Rashid Khan's first 2 balls. How do they play? Rashid Khan, do they say, right, we're going to take 25 off his 4 overs if we possibly can? I mean, that...
Run a ball, Run a ball off him and target the seam.
Rashid bowls to Zaman. That's a beauty, absolute beauty that goes away from the left-hander. pitches and leaves him, and he had no clue about that. Past the outside edge and taken by Shahzad. And that's the problem for the batter. If you're not reading him, you don't know which way it's going. It did go a long way, that actually. Turned a lot. Here is Rashid Khan bowling. Oh, thick outside edge from Fakhar Zaman. Goes into the offside towards cover. I was talking about taking a runner ball off him. It's easy to say that. So it's a good start from Rashid Khan. 74 for 1. They could do with a wicket or two. Fakhar waits. Rashid bowls another miscue into the offside. This time they're going to get a single to the right of cover. Had to dive. Throw comes in from Naveen to Rashid, who stops it. 3 singles in the first 5 balls of the over, but I think Fakhar Zaman's quite relieved to get up the other end.
Yeah, more through good luck than good management, I think, with that one.
75 for 1. Last ball of the over. Rashid bowls to Babar. Shout for LBW. The ball goes away in the onside. He's given him. Umpire Joe Wilson raises the finger, and Rashid Khan has sent back Babar. There might be a review. They're talking about it. He's saying to Fakhar, now, what was that doing? Is it missing? What do you think? Because it's Babar, they might go for the review. Umpire Joe Wilson raised the finger. They have reviewed it.
I think they have to go for the review here, Afghanistan. It looked like first up, it just spun past the inside edge and maybe missing leg stump.
Yeah, it's possible. Did it do too much? Yeah, it could have. I've just seen the replay. It could have done.
Let's go to ultra age to confirm.
It's a decent stride in too. It's got about another 8 feet before it hits the stumps.
Yeah.
Copy. Waiting for ultra
Probably
age.
missing leg.
Yeah, this could well be overturned.
Michael, missing leg or umpire's call?
You're saying, sorry?
So if it's not missing leg, it's
It's
umpire's
umpire's call. Yeah, well, umpire's call was out, so this is a big, big moment in the game.
Still waiting for ultra age.
Still waiting for ultra edge. There's a few tense faces out there. Rashid Khan's already celebrated the wicket. Who's doing the loading of the ultra edge? Of the ultra edge and the ball tracking. Here you go, ultra edge.
He's missed it.
He's missed.
There's a bit of murmur. Roll it back, roll it back.
Seriously,
Roll
come
it
on.
back for me. Take it all the way back.
Is that a gap
All
between
the way
bat and
back.
ball?
Okay, play it forward. Forward. Next frame. I can see a gap.
Yeah, there's what they call a bit of murmur. There's a little bit of sort of. It's not a spike at all, but there's no. I don't think there's any way he's hit that.
I see a gap between bat and ball. Roll it forward. Roll it forward. No bat involved. Let's go to ball tracking when ready, please.
Right, this is the big moment. Ball tracking. Here we go.
Ball tracking coming up. Original decision is out. Pitching outside off, impact in line.
Missing.
Wickets missing. You'll have to change your original decision to not out Joel. Stand by. You're on screen signal now.
Right. So not out. Babar Azam gets away with it, and rightly so as well. We thought actually could well be missing the stumps. The other thing as well, they ran through for a leg bye, so that is now a dead ball. So Pakistan do not get that run, and in a situation where a wicket would fall in that to an LBW shout, so on the last ball of a match, and it then went into the onside, and say it was the winning run, potentially the winning run or winning 2, whatever, it went down to fine leg, you wouldn't get it and be dead ball. It's an anomaly in the game that needs to be sorted out, really, because you could find huge controversy. So it's actually a dot ball rather than the leg bye. They ran through for a leg bye, but they don't get the leg bye. So it's one of those things that we keep going on about, but no one does anything about it.
Well, at least the Pakistan batsmen are getting plenty of advice, not only from the umpires, but Mohammad Shahzad and Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi, they're all telling him, nah, dead ball, no run. Very quick too.
So 75 for 1 after 11 overs. That was a good first over from Rashid Khan. What it just was lacking was that wicket.
Yeah.
And he thought he had it.
He's the massive threat for the Pakistan batsmen now, and he just showed his class and quality. Bowling with an attacking field as well, a slip in for both batsmen. Means there's another gap somewhere, but Afghanistan need to plug these easy singles. That's one thing they need to do, and make the Pakistanis play big shots.
Here's Nabi into bowl to Fakhar, goes for a big shot, shout for LBW. That looks quite close. It is. It's close enough to be given out by umpire Brown. Well, he went for a big shot into the leg side. He was quite low down. He was sort of struck on the body there. And I think we might be in review territory again. Now, have Afghanistan got a wicket this time? It has been reviewed. Chris Brown was very cool. He thought about it.
Review for LBW. Original
To me, that looked a bit closer than the one in the previous over, which, of course, as we know, wasn't out. But that looked as if it had quite a bit going for it.
Yeah, Nabi around the wicket to the left-hander, bowled it, slowed it up so much. Got a little bit of turn.
Doesn't appear to be
Ball
any
that's him in the midriff in front of middle and off. If that's not out, I'm not here.
Yeah, I mean, this is not LBW. This is CBW. It's chest before wicket, but he's so low on the sweep shot.
So low, yeah.
Well, is Fakhar going to get away with this? Is this going over the top? I think it looks straight enough, doesn't it, Stuart? Straight enough.
I think if it's hitting middle. Mohammad Rizwan in the crowd just signalling to his teammates, yeah, that's out. So I agree with Mohammad Rizwan.
Langton Rizere is the third umpire. So it does create its drama, this. And it does take a bit of time to load everything, all the technology. And both teams wait. Afghanistan in their huddle, the two batters looking out, waiting for what the big screen is going to provide for us.
Still waiting for Ultra Edge.
Still waiting for Ultra Edge. You hear it from Langton Rizere. Fakhar Zaman going for a big shot into the leg side. He's on 30, missed it, struck on the, well, stomach, chest sort of area, but very low down on the sweep. And is he in front? It looks straight, but what about the bounce here? I presume this is going to happen before midnight.
Ultra Edge coming up.
Here we go.
He's not hit it.
No, he's not hit it. I think we knew that.
What's the bat? Gap between bat and ball. Clearly no bat involved. Let's go to ball tracking. Ready, please.
Right, here we go. Here's the ball tracking.
Original decision is out.
Impact in line.
Impact in line.
And hitting.
Wickets hitting. Stay with your original decision of out. Stand by. Your on-screen signal now.
Great decision. Great decision. Tough to call in these high-pressure games. The crowds, must be making so much noise. You've got to concentrate hard, and the umpires get that one right.
Well, that's just what Afghanistan needed. With Rashid Khan into the attack and the new batter out there, it's Nabi who's got the wicket. Fakhar Zaman, LBW for 30. Pakistan is 75 for 2. They need 73 to win from 53 balls. Well within their capabilities, but you can see a situation here where things could go wrong for them, especially with Rashid having 3 overs to bowl. And actually, the way that first over, I mean, it was a real handful over he bowled.
It was, yeah. Mohammad Hafeez, the prof, has come in to bat number 4. Good player of spin, loves the off spin particularly. Very strong down the ground. He looks to hit back over the head. Will he have the courage to do it? First couple of balls. This is where Afghanistan now can pick a couple of dots. Bring the field in, make him play a big shot, slog across the line, whatever it has to be for him to score big, but don't give him an easy single just to get off strike.
Well, Afghanistan was 76 for 6 after 13 overs. They looked out of it. They are in it at the moment, even though Pakistan have only lost 2 wickets. You'd still say Pakistan were favourites, of course you would. But you can see a situation here where Afghanistan could just cause some unease in this Pakistan batting lineup. Babar's still there, 36 not out from 32 balls. But at the moment is game on. You saw West Indies win by 3 runs earlier today against Bangladesh. Could be in for something equally as exciting at the end. Here is Nabi then. With his off breaks into bowl to Hafeez. Hafeez pushes forward at that and very suspiciously and gets an inside edge onto his pad, and the ball rolls back towards the wicketkeeper Shahzad, who picks up, and there is no run. And Nabi using all his guile here to try to create something. We just see a great shot of the Afghan team. I'll come back to that in a second as Nabi bowls swept away out towards deep back with square leg between 2 fielders. Rashid Khan is one of them, running to his right, picks it up, sends in the return. Hafeez is back for 2, so he's off the mark. 77 for 2 in the 12th over. Just focusing on the Afghanistan team when that decision came up. Was it going to be out? And there was no. Nabi looked really cool, and it was just a little punch of the airs to say, "Yep, that's what I thought too."
Thought so, yep. That's why I appealed. Very cool man under pressure.
Yeah, it's taken you a while to confirm what I already knew. Nabi bowls, slicing stroke from Hafeez. He gets lucky there, but it was wide. It's going down towards the deep third boundary, and it's gone away for 4. Sliding effort is in vain from Karim Janat. That's just what Pakistan needed, a little spurt after the wicket. Hafeez is already 6 from 3. 81 for 2 in the 12th over. It's 67 to win from 50 balls. A lot depending, you feel, here on Rashid Khan.
Could Nabi, with his experience and the game's on a balance here, could he have gambled with a slip? That's where the ball's gone through.
The ball's now turned away by Hafeez into the onside towards mid-wicket. And there is no run. I think at the moment, when another bowler is on, it's not Rashid Khan, we're sort of filling in the phony war situations. When Rashid bowls, can he make something happen? Nabi bowls, guided away with an open face by Hafeez towards short 30. Just dragged that over back a bit at the end there, Nabi, with a couple of dot balls. After let's hear from Rashid Khan.
The more I keep it simple, the better I perform. I know him very well. I've played with him a lot, and he knows me as well. So that will be a great contest between us. You know, who control himself at that situation will be the winner.
Rashid Khan talking about Babar Azam, who he thought he had out in the previous over, and the umpire gave him out as well, Joel Wilson. So this battle is going to be continued now, as Babar is on strike on 36, and it's going to be Rashid Khan to continue. First over only went for 3, and it's fair to say Fakhar Zaman didn't really know which way the ball was turning, but he's out now. LBW to Nabi for 30. Pakistan 81 for 2 after 12 overs. They need 67 to win from the last 8. Rashid goes in. He'll slip in to bowl to Babar. Struck on the pads, another shout for LBW. Goes away into the onside, and that one is given not out. And Rashid, I don't think he's going to review that. I think they thought that was going down the leg side. It actually wasn't that dissimilar to the shout that was given out in the previous over. They're not going to go for it this time because they saw what happened in the previous over and realised it was missing by quite a long way. So leg by, that's disappointing. It means Hafeez is on strikes, not Babar, but he can still make progress at the other end against the new batter.
Come on, Nabi, bring up deep mid-wicket, put him in it, saving one on the onside. Make Hafeez go across the line. Not his favourite shot. His favourite shot is going down the ground or a sweep shot. Bring up deep mid-wicket. Still hasn't, but bring him up.
Rashid bowls to Hafeez. Hafeez hits that firmly off the back foot. Rashid dives away to his right, can't stop it. Goes up towards long on. And then through for a single. Gulbuddin Naib, who's 35 not out from 25 balls, has given Afghanistan a chance in this game. We still much rather be, of course you would, in Pakistan's position. 83 for 2. Babar slaps that into the onside, doesn't get all of it, goes bobbling out towards deep mid-wicket. Najibullah, Zadran with the fielding, 84 for 2. There's a bit of a hack there from Babar against Rashid, but it was a successful hack in one sense, that he managed to get it away. The man on the mic's getting the Rashid Khan supporters going. In now to bowl to Hafeez, and Hafeez gets a googly, which he tries to chop into the offside, gets some bat on it, the throw hits the stumps, the non-striker's end. They look for an overthrow. I don't think it was a run out, but we are going to go upstairs. The throw did hit the stumps. Hafeez was running for the danger end. He took that from off his stumps, that cut shot. It looked a risky one.
It was. If it had just skidded through like Rashid Khan has got the ability to do, it poses all sorts of problems, but Hafeez managed to get some bat on it. Not clean, but enough for a single.
Here's the replay on the run out. I think he's okay. Yeah, he's only just home, but just enough.
I have a decision for the big screen.
More worried about being hit by the ball getting into his crease.
There we go, not out confirmed. It was quite tight though. I mean, there was not much excitement out there from the fielders. I think they thought it was home, but obviously the appeal and checked it, but he was only just home. Here's Rashid bowling to Babar. Babar edges past slip. It's going down towards the boundary. Racing away towards the rope, and it's gone for 4. Rashid's got his hands on his knees and his head bowed. Well, he beat Babar there, but Babar picked up a boundary. Takes him to 41. And Pakistan to 89 for 2. They have a slip in, but it was wide of him. And some streaky runs for Babar Azam against Rashid Khan.
I think that's the first leg spinner that Rashid Khan has bowled to Babar Azam. Babar Azam shaping up to play the googly, and just finding the outside edge and just out of Nabi's reach at first slip.
Rashid bowls to Babar. Babar tries to drive, scuffs it back down the pitch. No timing in that. Rashid's through 2 overs now. 2 overs for 10. So there were, in all, there were, what have you got, 8 off the over, 7 from Rashid, but I mean, it's still a pretty good over, and the boundary was, you know, an edge past Nabi at slip. Okay, he just went quickly. I think it might have been in the air actually to his right, but it went so quickly that he just couldn't get down in time.
Just a bit wide of him too.
Yeah.
But talking to batsmen who face Rashid Khan, they say he's very difficult to pick. He bowls with a scrambled seam. Normally, you know, spinners, if they do bowl with a seam, with a bowled upright, it's easy to pick. But it's scrambled seam. Most spinners do it these days. But his arm is so fast, and it's very difficult to pick whether it's going to spin away or back into you. And when you've got to make those decisions, it's tough.
Nabi bowls to Hafeez, a low full toss, which is driven by Hafeez up towards long off for a single. 90 for 2, start of the 14th. 58 to win from 41 balls with 8 wickets in hand. Normal situation, normal circumstances, I'd say, yeah, Pakistan have got this. They're roughly where they want to be. Rashid Khan's still got 2 overs left, though, to try to cause some problems. He hasn't taken a wicket yet. He's gone for 10. Nabi into Babar. Babar plays it quietly backward a square, nudging it, throw at the non-striker's end. Doesn't have much venom in it or much purpose. Babar's through for a single. Pakistan ticking them off. Babar to 42. Now Hafeez on 9. Nabi's in his final over. Picked up 1 for 30. That wicket of Fakhar Zaman. Oh, it's a no ball. It's a no ball. Oh dear.
So he looks angry. You can only be angry at one person.
Yeah. Just seeing the replay now. Yeah, we can't see anything behind the line there.
It's splitting hairs, but it is a no ball.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. But we know cricket is a game of those very fine margins. If you feather the ball through to the keeper, you're out. Well, you should be.
Here we go. This is Hafeez. Happy birthday.
He's got a free hit. Nabi into bowl to him. Bowls to Hafeez, and Hafeez lofts this away into the leg side, out towards the boundary. He's caught out there by Rashid Khan. Throw comes in. He only gets a single. It is a free hit, so he can't be out. And a few cheering in the crowd. I think there were a few, I think, didn't realise that was a free hit and all the consequences of a free hit. Especially if you're not paying attention, you're on your mobile phone or chatting to your mates for a moment, you might just miss the call of no ball. Nabi bowls to Babar. Babar goes down the ground in the air, back over the bowler's head, out towards the straight long off boundary, hasn't got all of it. Najibullah comes round, and Babar comes back for 2 runs. 95 for 2 in the 14th. 53 to win from 39 balls. It's edging Pakistan's way. They've had a measure of control over this game right from the start. They haven't released that grip. Nabi to Babar. And Babar brushes this into the onside. A diving save at mid-wicket is successful from Naveen-ul-Haq. There's no run.
There we go. Mid-wicket in, saved a single.
Good piece of fielding as well.
It was diving full length to his right on the wicket block. Not easy.
Nabi to Babar. Babar gets one outside the off stump. She cuts away through backward point. Chased around the rope. They'll come back for 2 runs here. It's Hazratullah Zazai to make ground away to his left. Babar goes to 46 with those 2 runs. And Pakistan to 97 for 2, coming to the end of the 14th over. It's one of those situations, if they were batting first, they would, you'd think they'd comfortably get to 148. Just the pressure of batting second. Rashid Khan's 2 overs to come. Nabi bowls. Babar defends. Back up the onside of the pitch. There's no run. Nabi's finished. 4 overs, 1 for 36. We have 6 overs left of this match. Pakistan need 51 runs to win. Hafeez has 10. Babar has 46. And Pakistan in control. Liam Plunkett's with me.
Nice to be back to finish this day off. It's going to be a good finish as well. Rashid Khan, massive part to play here. 2 more overs. I think Pakistani guys fairly comfortable. Babar's doing a nice job here. He'd be looking to finish with maybe 70 not out and see this game through. But need to try and get through Rashid Khan's 12 balls first.
Yeah, that's the only thing really, isn't it, that separates Pakistan from an upset, really, or being upset. Really, they should win from here. T20 teams in this position, you expect to win a game from this position. Rashid, can he make something happen? Goes in and bowls it, and that's hit high in the air, out towards long on. It should be caught, it is. Gulbadin's taken the catch, Hafeez is on his way. Rashid has picked up the wicket. Hafeez is out for 10, and Pakistan are 97 for 3. And there are lots of Afghan flags being waved around this Dubai International Stadium. It's not Babar Azam, but it'll do for now. Mohammad Hafeez on his way.
I wonder if that was the plan, if Babar give Hafeez the licence and they had a chat to say, look, I'll bat through, maybe you try and take Rashid down. But it's never easy, and that's why he picks up so many wickets. He's a class bowler and he bowls very tight, and he picks up the crucial, important wickets.
97 for 3 in the 15th over. Gulbadin like that, he took the catch and then showed himself off to the crowd behind him. It was a straightforward one, really. You'd expect him to catch those on most occasions, and he did. He pouched it safely. So Hafeez is out. It's 51 to win from 35 balls. Shoaib Malik, the man with a 22-year international career, is on his way at number 5.
Yeah, he's very calm. He's played a lot of cricket, and he's such a good person to have come in at this period of time. As I said, vast experience, very skillful, calm-headed. I'm sure him and Babar are going to have a chat, decide what they're going to do, but there's still plenty of time. As I said, you can get one a ball off Rashid Khan. Easier said than done, but with these two at the crease, it's possible to knock him around and even put away the bad ball.
That was Rashid Khan's 100th wicket in T20 internationals. Well, you feel if Afghanistan are going to win this game, he needs to take 101, 102. He's bowling to Babar, and Babar cuts him away into the offside. The batter's cross while the ball was in the air. Babar gets a single. He goes to 47, and the score to 98 for 3 in this 15th over. Afghanistan making 147 for 6. Thanks to that stand of 71 from Nabi and Gulbadin for the 7th wicket. And 2 wickets from Imad Wasim, and then the other wickets shared around, 1 each for all the main Pakistan bowlers. And then in this Pakistan innings, Rizwan out for 8, Fakhar for 30, and Hafeez for 10. So Shoaib Malik is out there. Strike rate of 124 in his T20 international career, and although he's 40, he's just done the most extravagant stretching exercise that I bet no one in this room can do.
No, definitely not me, mate.
Even people who are younger.
It's called the lotus stretch, or what's it called? Something like that in yoga, right? I might have just made that up, I don't know.
It's Rashid bowling. Oh, and Malik gets down on a goodie just in time there. He was sort of down on his knees and bent backwards, stretched his, I suppose, stomach muscles and
quads, yeah.
Quads